got a beginning where you go, oh yeah, I know that one. Goes like this.
Oh yeah, I know that one. It's Pot of Thunder, the recognized symbol of excellence in KISS podcasting. Welcome to the show. It's your buddy Andy, and as always, I'm joined by Nick and by Chris. Hey guys, what's happening?
What's poppin'?
Oh, you know. Big weekend. Went to a bunch of shows. Went to Riot Fest last week.
Yeah. How was it?
It was fun. I had a good time. Saw the Misfits, the original Misfits reunion.
Were you even relatively close to the stage? I saw our boys Kelly and Dave were pretty far away. A lot of people.
I might be closer to the stage now than I was then when I was actually at the venue. That's how far away I was.
Jeez. I didn't know that area was that big.
Is it a full, I believe it was 40,000. I mean, it was totally full, and we were pretty far in the back by the time we got up there. But, yeah, it was something. I saw a couple others. Oh, there's something I wanted to talk to Chris about. I thought he would enjoy. I saw the Buzzcocks on Thursday. And it's funny because this is their 40th anniversary tour.
Right,
Some old dudes, you know. And there was a funny mix of people. It was like people who are probably the age of the Buzzcocks and people who are the age of them when they started. And it was like worlds colliding because it was these people who, you know, they were punks in the 70s, but now they're like, you know, professionals. So you see like the overweight, like dentist-looking guy with his "Never Mind the Bullocks" T-shirt tucked into his Hagar slacks. Yeah, exactly. Dad jeans.
Dad jeans are pleated slacks.
Which I'm not just making fun of the guy. I don't necessarily have a problem with that. But what was funny to watch was that.
Well, you should have a problem with that, for one thing. You shouldn't leave the house looking like that, but whatever.
True enough. But the thing that made it pretty entertaining to watch was watching like these older people standing there, you know, watching the show, and then people in their 20s like having a mosh pit. But it wasn't like a hardcore 80s hardcore mosh pit. It was like a pogo pit, you know, just people bouncing up and down, bumping into each other,
getting into it,
gobbing and pogoing.
Exactly, which is what you do at a punk show,
and
right?
it's, you know, I am assuming you mean vertical movement.
Yeah, vertical movement.
So it's not like a fucking tornado pit where everybody's getting drawn into it.
No, it was vertical movement, but there's the occasional bump into people around you who aren't in it. Of course,
but not. Is that what they call it, a tornado pit, or is it like a
circle pit?
That's it. You know, that's like horizontal movement.
Yeah.
So, yeah, okay.
But you would not believe the outrage on the face of the older people when these people in their 20s were bumping into them. It was like, turn around with wide eyes staring. Like, concert's ruined. I'm not watching the show anymore. I'm waiting for this guy to come back so I can shove him as hard as I can. It's like, come on, did you forget
fuck you.
Why you're there?
First of all, again, not only should they have not left the house looking like they did, they shouldn't have left the house, period.
Right.
Okay? I'm sure you saw a fair amount of the same type of characters at Riot Fest.
Yeah, but there was a difference there. At Riot Fest, it seemed like the people who were, you know, of advanced years knew to get on the sides or in the back. At this place, it was at the Vic Theater, which is pretty small, and it's like, hey, you know, we want to get right up front. 40th anniversary. It's like, well, if you're going to get up front, people are going to bump into you.
Exactly.
It's a punk show. Even though there are old dudes in the band, it's still a punk show. It's the same music that it always was, you know?
Is the Vic the one where upstairs there's like theater seating?
Yeah.
Looks like? Yeah, go up there.
That's where I was.
I mean, I was in still my early 30s the last time I was there.
Yeah.
And last two times I was there, just, okay, where's a seat?
Right.
Yeah, I need a chair, man.
Yeah, it's great if you can sit up there. If you can find a spot, it's like sitting in a movie theater and you get to watch a show.
Yeah, it was perfect. We're like second row.
Nothing to prove as far as being on the floor these days.
No, but...
Oh, fuck no.
There's not a good idea.
And the other thing, there was plenty of space to come up there. If you were an older person, you were like, oh, I didn't realize I was going to get bumped into. Go upstairs and sit down. Don't get mad and then try to take shots at people.
That's a joke. That's ridiculous.
These are just kids having fun, and then you're getting all pissed off trying to fight. You know, it's like What's wrong with you?
People, and I'm my guess is those guys are closer to my age than your guys' age, so they're like maybe pushing 50. It's like I'm telling you, and I'm guilty of this too. Obviously, anybody who's heard me talk for 2 seconds on the show knows that I'm in a state of arrested development emotionally, but just in general, like 50-year-old people taking selfies and Snapchats and all this shit on social media, and going to buzzcock shows on a school night. It's like, get with it. Figure it out. If it's too much for you, stay at home.
Right.
I mean,
quit acting like a kid if you're not prepared to go all the way with it.
There's a couple shows coming up in the Chicagoland that I would like to go to, and they're not even like punk shows or anything where there's any danger of a pit opening up or and I'm still just like, I don't know if I can do this.
Really?
Which ones are those? You don't divulge it.
Sure, no, I don't.
Nick doesn't want to be bothered by listeners confronting him,
buying me tickets, coming to pick me up. Right. There's the Letters to Cleo is reunited and coming around.
Okay,
one of my favorites.
Where are they playing?
Them I forget. If theirs is something like the Vic or House of Blues or Metro, I forget, but
like a 1,500
something
whatever
like that.
thousand.
Yeah, I forget exactly where, but no, it might be. Well, either way.
Right.
And then at the Park West, the Proclaimers are going to be there, and they're like never in America.
Yeah.
All right,
and I'm a fan of a few of their albums. So.
Well, I know this is one of Nick's favorite phrases, so I'm going to use it. But I've got a life hack for you.
Oh, great.
One time I went to a show at Park West, and the guy I was with had a cane. Do that. Just pretend there's something wrong with you. They'll give you a nice round leather booth to sit in. Come give you table service, no extra charge.
Really nice venue, yeah. But it's just
venue.
going there. I don't know if I can do that.
Yeah, House of Blues is like a deal breaker for me because unless you pay the big bucks to get in one of those like balconies,
the
little restaurant,
you got to stand
area.
up, and I just can't do it anymore.
Right,
it's just not in the game plan for me.
There was a guy, I don't know. Probably only Chicago people would recognize him, but Hot Doug from Hot Doug's.
He was at the Buzzcocks.
Going apeshit the whole time in one of the balconies.
Yeah?
Yeah, singing every word. That's like the weird artisan sausage. It's like bizarre animal meat or whatever. I don't even know, but yeah. Kind of famous thing, like alligator.
Who
hot dog
pointed that out to you? Or did you recognize
I don't know why. I looked over. I'm like, that guy looks so familiar.
Andy knows like the famous fans. Like, when we were at wrestling, he pointed out a famous fan.
Hey, I don't know how.
I'm like, how do you know?
I think I just remember faces of people I've seen more than anything.
Okay.
But yeah, I was like, who's that guy? I was like, oh shit, that's Hot Dog. My wife's like, how do you know that? Why would you even know? It's just a normal guy. I'm like, let's look it up. It was Hot Dog. So
you looked it up, huh? Did you cue in the theme music?
What did you do on your phone?
Yeah, I was like, hold on. Before we go on Google.
Then you just compared his face to the picture.
Yeah.
Obviously him. 1 second. Perfect recognition.
I think at all the shows I've been to, I saw one famous person in the crowd at a show. Went to see Anthrax when they got back together. I think it was the first tour when they got Joey back to, vocals.
Sure.
And I can never say his name right, but comedian, really tall guy, Brian Posen?
Oh,
yeah,
Posehn.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, that guy stuck out like a sore thumb because he's just a very
right?
big guy. Yeah, probably the only noteworthy person I've ever seen.
Didn't you see Charlie from Anthrax at a concert?
I saw him outside of the United Center getting VIP tickets for a Pearl Jam. It was a not Descendants. Bad Religion opening
for Pearl Jam.
For Pearl Jam, that show.
Really?
Yeah,
that could be fun.
It was, I think it was Bad Religion's 25th or something like that.
Wow.
And saw Charlie. Nobody was talking to him, and I'm like, I'm not going to be that guy.
Let him slide.
I have nothing to say. I'm just what am I going to say? He hasn't heard a zillion times already.
Yeah.
So
today's theme is bands who opened for Pearl Jam. Apparently, because I think Buzzcocks were on a tour with them too at one point. Last 10 years or so.
There you go.
Well, I don't know how that's going to lead into this week's song, but maybe, sometimes we foresee the future in our discussion. It's like speaking of letters to Cleo, it's like a Miss Cleo kind of situation.
She died recently.
She did die, didn't she?
I'm sure she expected it. So
I'm watching.
See what I did there? Couldn't have been a surprise.
That's good.
I'm waiting. I'm looking at Andy searching for clips. I think I know which one he wants to go to.
No, I was gonna be a bad person, and then I decided not to. So there you go.
You should never censor yourself in that way,
especially when it comes to Miss Cleo.
Yeah, I can't support that.
Well, I apologize. All right.
I see the internal battle. It's coming through. Andy's like, do I go for the sound clip that everybody, well, maybe not everybody, but some people are expecting?
It's the proverbial angel and devil on his shoulder.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's interesting to watch right now.
Yeah. Well, not doing it.
Oh, well,
so.
It's over.
And then, much like in Animal House, the angel won out, to which the devil said to the guy, "You homo." So I'm saying the same thing to you.
All right. Fair enough. How about this?
Yeah, I'd pulled a boner.
Okay.
There you go.
Didn't think I'd hear that one ever again.
You never know. Once in a while, all these old clips come back. They resurface over time.
Speaking of old, the random song generator is as far as last episode, still working, but
yeah,
it's always a crapshoot with this thing.
When the weather's about to break, I think, into fall here.
Of course, some people, myself included, might question that it's working right at all because of the lack of dynasty cuts that just remains to be a complete mystery on this show.
Wait a minute!
I'm making that accusation. I mean, I don't know what else to say. What is this, 174?
Yeah.
And we've had one fucking dynasty cut.
That's pretty crazy, huh?
I don't know what to say about that.
It's the one I would have picked if I had the chance, so I'm happy.
So you're good?
I'm good.
We're done. We don't even need it.
Pack up Dynasty. We don't need it anymore.
You heard it
really?
No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, please.
There's one that I am absolutely. There's a song on there I adore that we haven't done yet. So
it's real funny.
If you don't adore Dirty Livin', then it could be any of them because we haven't done any from.
Well, I mean, album. Dirty Livin', that's a favorite.
Oh sure,
as well.
Oh sure, absolutely. But that's been the only one. If you're new to this program, songs get picked at random. Every Kiss studio cut is in the hopper, and we've had one tune from Dynasty in 173 episodes.
We've almost closed out other albums. I don't think we've officially closed anything out yet.
We're close on Unmasked and Gene's solo album.
Look It Up is almost done.
Yeah, we're very close on a couple, but
yeah,
it's been a nice spread of
a
little bit from here, a little bit there, and not much from Dynasty at all. So.
No.
Well, that's not much. It's one fucking song.
Exactly.
I need to just
keep
harping on that. So anyway, back to the random song generator. It's time to boot it up, Nick.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, we're getting some pretty nice end of summer, early fall weather. So I'm expecting it should be okay. Like the winter coming, we're supposed to have a bad, cold winter.
We might have to.
The old Farmer's Almanac says so.
Right. That's the other thing.
Don't get
I'm so tired of hearing people talking about the weather. Because here's what happens. People talk about, it's going to be a brutal winter. It's going to be terrible. It's going to be the worst one we've had in years. And then whether it happens or doesn't happen, nobody ever goes, it doesn't go back to that. So it was like fake news. Everyone's talking about it. When you make small talk with people, you don't really talk too much. That's always the subject. Yeah, winter's going to be bad this year. Oh, yeah, getting ready. Then it's just fine. It's right. It's mild, average winter.
It's bullshit.
It's just
total crap.
Yeah.
That said, though, if it should come to pass, we might have to do like what they do up in Canada. Get one of those engine block heaters that you have to actually attach to your car to get the fucking thing to start in the morning.
Right.
So, we got to get to the end of this podcast, and without the song generator, I mean, what are we going to do? I don't know. I shouldn't be predicting doom and gloom. It's been working. I mean, functioning, powering up in terms of putting out songs in a reasonable manner. It has not been doing that, but what are you going to do?
I'm expecting no problems today. It is nice out. Good operating temperature for this piece of equipment. I was looking through the specs for most of the interfaces that we've added on.
Right.
It's right in the middle of the operating temperature, acceptable operating temperature. So.
You got your AutoZone diagnostics kit out.
Got all kinds of test equipment here.
All right,
so
it's boot it up.
Here I go.
See if it powers.
We're just going to turn
up.
it on and see if it works?
Oh, yeah.
All right, sure.
Okay, that's good.
Might need those lasers to defrost some cars
Yeah.
in a couple months.
So as has been the ritual for recent episodes, that's only half of the equation. The other half is we need the delivery of the item. Nick doesn't lower himself to bringing the piece of exclusive merchandise himself. He has it delivered now, which I love that.
It compromises some of the MIB items that I have.
What's that? What's MIB?
Isn't that mint in box or mint in package?
Oh, okay.
Like his eBay listing lingo.
Not my Will Smith
yeah,
and
you're right.
Tommy Lee Jones figures.
What's the one that you said? Wow.
Yeah.
That's the best when you look at an eBay listing. Wow.
But I love that because you're kind of a big shot in the podcast world, so you should have shit delivered to you, things done for you.
Well, and
I wholeheartedly support.
You dish out cash to get this double platinum package that I'm part of with the room service merchandise delivery service, and that's what I'm doing. I'm not taking any chances. It's the weekend right now. So I'm paying like a weekend. It's covered. It's like what, Amazon Prime or Amazon whatever.
Yeah.
You're covered, you know. But you have to dish out that important cash for that double platinum package.
Yeah, but again, like I said, you're a big shot now. This is chump change for you.
Oh yeah.
I mean, wipe your ass with this amount of money on a daily basis.
Like I'm not going to go sweep a KB toy store in the clearance section trying to find an old figure or something.
No, those days are over.
No, that's
paid your dues.
That's for just derelicts at this point.
Right.
That's for the next KISS podcast. Which actually, I was wondering about that. Are we still bringing up the rear in that, or have other KISS podcasts surfaced since we started? Because we were like the Johnny Come Late.
I think we're still the noobs.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's like everything. All of the other like 12 KISS podcasts were established, and here come us three assholes barreling onto the scene.
We didn't know any better.
And we pretty much like none have happened since. So.
Yeah, I almost feel like we should have asked somebody if it was okay.
Yeah.
Everyone turned their back on us.
We just kind of brashly,
You guys weren't
invited
here.
Crashed the party, you know.
Well, that's kind of that's the beauty of podcasting or the whole internet is like, you don't have to wait for permission. Just fucking step out and do it. So okay. So you think you're delivery? How do you know the delivery guy's on the way? Do you
Let me peek out the window.
A push
here.
notification of some sort?
Let me peek out the window. I do get those, yes, but I like to go the old-fashioned way and see if anybody's coming.
And this is a service like Dollar Shave Club or whatever, where every week somehow it's always when we record.
Well, that's
the random item shows up.
That's part of the double platinum package.
Okay.
I let them know.
The double platinum package. I love that.
I let them know. They put a little. They do some extended soloing and some disco beats for me. Double platinum.
I gotcha.
Yeah, there. And it's like we were saying the other week, where you pay them, they accommodate. It's all about convenience. It's a culture of convenience, and in KISS collecting, there's no point in having any sort of struggle. So there you go.
And it's just KISS items, right? Can you not get household items?
No, this is purely KISS related.
Toilet paper 78 from the double platinum package.
I mean that could certainly happen. So
all right, well, so what do we do? Just sit here and wait?
Well,
I think let me go check the window
mailman's
here.
got to show up, and then that piece of merchandise then
Normally,
interacts.
we have this timed up pretty well, right?
Yeah, I don't know.
Well,
I mean, it is Saturday, like Nick said.
I'm going to
so-
check out the window again. And for those at home listening, I am actually standing up and looking out the window. I'm just to kind of save my strength, I'm just going to sit down and I'm just going to wait. I hope that's not too boring for the listeners, but
Watched kettle never boils. What's that saying?
Yeah.
That sounds right. Uh-oh. There's the mailman.
A rather boisterous mailman. Today.
Wait a minute. Look who it is.
I got some mail for all the wild people over here. Oh, yeah. Ow!
This is the greatest mailman we've ever had.
How you doing, people?
Jeez.
Oh, yeah.
You're louder than Andy on the intro.
I
lately.
got a little mail over here.
Wow, could you hand it over
Looking
to...
for someone named Nick. Is that you over
That'd be
there?
me. That'd be me. Here's your dime.
Is that you knocking at my door? Oh, yeah. There you go.
All right.
It's really not Paul Stanley, guys.
No.
No, it's
No,
not.
it's
No,
not.
sorry, I thought you thought it was, but it's not. It's really me.
This week's guest mailman.
Oh,
None
yeah.
other than Chris Jericho. Welcome, Chris.
Thank you. I'm really excited to well, first of all, excited to deliver the mail. It's always the number one most important thing, rain or sleet or snow.
That's right.
You deliver the mail. And it was hard to find you at the Embassy Suites. You didn't tell me what room that you're in, so I went and knocked on about 422 doors. But I found you to deliver the bounty to you guys.
Just follow
And,
the smell.
following
Lead you to
guys
us.
cooking some potpourri in here or something. I'm not sure what it
Cooking
is.
something.
But I'm really excited to be here on the Pot of Thunder, man.
Oh, we're
Welcome.
excited to have you. This is a big deal.
It's pretty monumental. Am I your first guest you've ever had?
Yes, I was just about to say we're horning in on the formula of other KISS podcasts to have like D-list celebrities in, and so you're our first
I'm
one.
the first one.
Yeah.
I'm but more of a D-. I'm more of an E+ celebrity.
Well,
guest.
we'll see how you do.
That could be
you
better.
know. We'll
That could
we'll
be better.
throw you out
I'm
if you're
nervous,
not
man.
up to standard.
I'm nervous. I don't really spend a lot of time with a microphone, so I don't know exactly what to do.
Right, yeah.
But I'll try my best. I'll try
Right.
my best. I will say this though. Last night, this is what I do a lot of times when if I'm at home, my wife and kids go to bed. I always watch the exact same thing if I'm having a couple drinks. I go watch all of the 80s KISS videos in chronological order, but they have to be non-makeup. And I always start with Sure Know Something just because it's fun. And then I go start with Lick It Up and go all the way through to I Just Wanna.
There you go.
And
yeah.
I did that last night. It takes about 2 hours, but so
interesting.
I'm a little bit tired today, a little bit hungover. But I got to see some great 80s KISS videos, which are always awesome.
You just pull them up online?
Yeah.
Go right through them? Yeah.
Go through them in order on YouTube.
That's a great ritual to have.
It's fun. You get to see, and they're all really good. Like, obviously, and then if I'm really, really awake, then I'll watch live uncensored Animalized tour.
Yes.
Sure.
Wow.
But I mean,
Interesting.
it's fun to watch. Like, I know a lot of people might cut down 80s KISS, but the hooks, the melodies, the singing. I mean, they were awesome, man. They've been great. They were great.
Well, and the merchandise has an 80s KISS slant to it,
Sure
yes.
does,
So,
isn't it?
as we've
An image from '82 on it.
as we've demonstrated on this podcast, there's occasionally some foreshadowing. So who
Oh,
knows
who
what's
knows?
who knows what's at work?
I just
here.
love actually looking at you guys while you're talking because I just hear your voices. And before I met you, I had no idea what anybody looked like. So you envision people when you see them, when you hear
Right.
them, and then when you see them, and none of you guys looked like I thought you would. Actually, Chris kind of did.
Chris,
Well,
Kind of a
yeah.
smarmy, sarcastic, kind of strange man.
Assholes tend to have a
Yeah, a certain
similar
look.
look.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
can spot them a mile
You
away.
totally
but
can- I can
these
draw-
other two are.
Yeah, those are the nice guys and the asshole.
Yeah. Well,
There you go.
that's pretty much the dynamic. Now we got two assholes
That's
in here,
exactly
so we've
right.
balanced
It's
it.
like Cheap Trick now.
Yeah,
Two
exactly.
nice-
Right, exactly.
Except for instead of two hot guys, two ugly guys, it's two
Yeah.
nice guys and two
Yeah.
assholes.
Me and Andy will be on the front cover.
Yes,
That's right.
exactly.
Me and Chris will be in the back.
Exactly
Chris,
right.
you're Bunny Carlos just by proxy.
All right.
All right, there you
All
go.
right.
So what do you got?
I've got something. It's an Eric Carr. It's a set of Eric Carr cufflinks,
Mm.
Oh.
and it's got the little image on it, which is, if I'm going to go with an image personally, this is one I would go with. It's from the Creatures album cover.
Mm.
Got that little blue tint to it.
Nice.
Cool.
A little light up, white eyes, and it looks like a couple of almost trading cards inside of there.
There's a guitar pick, too. it
There's a
looks like.
guitar pick.
I just love the fact they exist. There's Eric Carr
Yeah.
cufflinks. I like that.
You might need them.
It's got
yeah.
it's got some facts, Eric Carr facts on the back.
Tell
of
us the
trading
best
cards.
fact on there.
Yeah.
Give him a factoid.
Give me a fact about Eric Carr.
Before settling on his final stage name, Eric was considering renaming himself Rusty Blade.
Oh, no way Gene would have went for that.
He would later use this name as an alias while on tour.
Okay, Gene,
Rusty Blade.
Gene never would have allowed that. He never would have allowed that.
No way.
Didn't remember he wanted George Lynch to change his name to John Lynx? Did you guys ever hear that?
I don't think I've ever heard that.
George Lynch was in the running to be in Kiss?
No, but when he was in messing around with Van Halen like in 78 and 79, he used to see George Lynch's band and said that George Lynch is a dumb name. You'd be called John Lynx.
Why is that better? It's like kind of a lateral name change.
I agree.
It's not worse. It's not better. It's just
the same.
Situations you hear of like that, you wonder is there a conversation happening beforehand where that comes out, or does he's like, I'm Gene Simmons, I'm established, I'm going to walk up to this guy and tell him, I think your name should be this.
I think you know the answer.
I'm gonna give him the sage advice.
I think we know the answer. I think Gene just walked up to him unannounced and unasked and just went, hey, you need to change your name.
That's just like a power play. Just I'm gonna put my stamp on you.
Sounds like Prince did that a lot, right?
I'm Gene Simmons from the rock group Kiss. That was my first ever attempt at a Gene Simmons.
That was great.
So good.
Much better
nailing it.
Much better than any of us.
2 for 2 now, man.
Yeah.
Right.
2, 3, 4, 5. We got to get every member. Can you do a Tommy Thayer? We'll give you time to work on it.
Well, it's kind of really quiet.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Doesn't say a lot. Smiles. He's got a really big head too.
He does.
Yeah,
He has a defined jaw, doesn't he?
He's
Yeah,
a very
and-
square jaw.
And not egotistical big head, like a literal big, big cranium. Yeah. Nice guy though.
Yeah.
Quick side
Hell of a
note.
player.
One time I met Hillary Clinton.
Ooh,
Enormous head.
really?
I couldn't believe my eyes how big her head was. I'm like, that must be part of the power that this woman has.
Let me ask you a
Huge
question.
head.
Do we think Hillary's going to make it to the election, or is she going to die of this strange illness that she seems to have?
That's kind of the thing that's going on now. Everyone's saying she's passing out. Her shoe fell off, and they're carrying her into the limo.
She can't stop. If you go online, you can see all the conspiracy theories that she coughs a lot.
Yeah.
Have you seen this video?
No,
I have. Yeah.
Not.
You can go online and look up Hillary Clinton coughing. So, June 2016,
Exactly.
Hillary Clinton coughed 15 times in a public appearance.
Yeah. Right.
And you watch it, it's like, wow, maybe she has tongue issues or something.
Yeah, there might be something.
I don't want to say the word because I don't want to put that out in the universe.
Understandable.
But, let's just say that
Issues.
A lot of issues.
She might have contracted AIDS from Bill. I mean, stick his dick in anything.
You don't have to cover anything on this show. You say
No,
what you want.
we
Say what you feel.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Nobody cares.
Right,
It doesn't
exactly.
matter.
Yeah,
Okay.
we get that shit enough at our day jobs.
Right.
It's your
Get
chance
told
to
what
fly,
to do.
man.
Yeah, exactly.
Shit. All right. Fuck,
So
man.
how do the cufflinks? How do they get a song out of the generator?
Well, I noticed that the cufflinks look like they're possibly made out of some sort of precious metal, and I've been looking to replace some resistors inside of some of the circuitry in the random song generator.
Wow. So these are going to be recycled?
These are going to be
Holy
recycled, just kind of for now, just for this process of choosing the song, and then
You're not going to damage the
Not-
cufflinks.
Well,
are ya?
I mean, I don't know how much voltage is going to get through it. I don't know what the resistance rating is on these things, but I'm gonna replace them real quick.
it's always a crapshoot.
Is that thing still on? And we fired it up earlier.
Yeah,
It's the machine.
yeah, it's still running. I mean, unless you want me to do a little check on
Yeah,
it.
you
hit
might
the
as well
Yeah,
turn it
because
back on.
normally we don't sit here and talk to the mailman for this length of time.
Well,
so.
yeah, and usually he's gone, but I'm not leaving. I'm sitting in on the session. So
All
there you go.
right.
I'm like Yoko Ono. You can't make me leave.
You're just
I'm
going to
gonna throw off
scream
your
in the
vibe,
background while we're...
You might want to get up and leave if we get a Peter Criss solo cut out of this thing.
See, that
Who
would be the
knows?
worst. I've been listening to your guys' show. I've heard probably 80%. The only ones I haven't listened to are songs I just don't really care for.
Yeah.
That would be the shits if we get like one that I don't really care for. I'd have to sit here for an hour and talk to you losers about something I don't even care
Yeah,
about.
you're just going to be looking at your
No,
phone.
You matter
Nobody
to me.
wants
It's
that.
like,
Yeah, I don't know what we would what kind of discussion we would have. That's one to get you fired up for a wrestling match.
you matter to
isn't it?
me.
Yeah.
I think that's the only one I actually know on that album too. Besides
Yeah.
Tossin'
That's
and
kind of
Turnin'.
Sugar Papa Likes.
Oh.
Even if you don't know it, you got to know the name.
But I knew this name.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, I
Yeah,
think
of
I know
course.
that song as well. I don't have the Peter Criss solo album,
Right.
nor do I have the Gene Simmons. I got to be honest with you guys. I never bought those two.
Yeah, I
Between
was
you,
the
me,
same.
and everyone else. Say if you're voting.
but I'm a
Yeah.
huge Ace and Paul
Oh, yeah.
solo album
Yeah.
guys.
Those
Obviously.
are
yeah.
essentials.
Paul's is the best in my opinion.
I think
like
I'm
Paul's
with you,
best.
Chris.
You know, I'm
Paul
actually
Fraley's
I'm
is the
actually
best.
coming around to that. I had the Ace and the Peter because they were my favorite members of
Sure.
the band. But thanks to this podcast, delve into the Paul, I mean, he just spills it out there.
Quite honestly, I mean, the only song that's not good is the single "Hold Me, Touch Me." I never got into that, but the other 8 tunes are all. If they were on any Kiss album, they'd be huge hits. If that was a Kiss album, it would have sold 2 million copies.
I agree with you.
You know, right in that Love Gun era, it would have fit right in with it.
And I think it's a shame they never really play any of those live.
Yeah, I mean, that's why, you know, when Paul did his solo tour in '89 and also in 2006, it was great because you got to hear all those songs. Tonight You Belong to Me and Move On. And
we went to that. Yeah, Nick and I went to the DVD, the One Live Kiss from 2006. Yeah.
Was that in Chicago?
Yeah, it was at House of Blues in Chicago.
Cool.
Yeah.
I fucked up. I didn't go. They invited me. I didn't go. I don't know.
I went to the one in L.A. at Hollywood's House of Blues, and Gene and Bruce Kulick were there.
Oh, that's cool.
And I was watching Bruce. They had that guitar player who's just nuts, that Brazilian guy. Just watching Bruce, watching
Rafael Moreira.
Yeah, Rafael. Yeah, man, that guy's a great player.
Oh yeah, wicked.
It was a good show. It was fun. So what do we do now?
Fire it up, Nick.
I'm gonna go fire it up once more and just
stand back, Jericho. This thing could go up and
put on the goggles.
Yeah, we don't have any kind of insurance here. So
if anybody's gonna die here, let it be Nick.
This is gonna be like Back to the Future. When you turn it on, it's gonna blow me back into the giant amps.
You never know. I mean, it's an artifact from that era.
It is.
All right, well, here I go.
There, it still works. Good.
No problems today.
It went into sleep mode.
You know what's
you
funny?
never know it's going to wake back up.
When you guys started using that, I was like, I totally know that song. I didn't know the name of it. When you guys said it's from George Michael's Sports Machine, I remember hearing that, and I'll tell you the reason why I always have kind of bad memories, because that was on at 10:30 Sunday night, which was my bedtime when I was like in high school. So whenever I heard that, I knew it was time to go to bed.
You hated it, right?
I hated it, yeah.
Me too. Same thing.
I think it was on right after it was the Gary Shandling show for some odd reason. I used to love that.
Okay.
And then Sports Machine came on right after, and that was when time for bed, Chris. Shit.
Yeah.
I hate you, George. I hate you, fake George Michael.
Yeah.
I also had the same feeling about MASH for a while because that was another Sunday night show.
Sure.
I liked the show now, but at the time it was bedtime. The opening song, it's like, oh man.
I'll do you one
Gotta go
better
to school.
too. The Jerry Lewis Telethon.
Okay.
That was always on the day before we had to go back to school.
Yeah,
Was it the same for you guys?
exactly.
So whenever I saw that, I was like, I love the concept. I'm all for the
Summer's over.
Yeah, summer's over. I hate you, Jerry Lewis.
Yeah, when he's up there crying his eyes out at the end, it's like, so am I. I got to go to school.
Yeah, I got to go to
tomorrow.
school. Yeah.
I even have that with
we cried together.
I even have that with the Benny Hill show. Like in Chicago in the 80s, for some reason, Benny Hill was on syndication.
The most festive, fun, up-tempo music just depresses you because of the context.
I guess so.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, same thing in the D. Benny Hill was like 11:30. So.
And Winnipeg too. Benny Hill was nationwide, man. There you go.
We should do a Benny Hill podcast.
Yeah, let's do.
We could start that in 2 years.
I guarantee 7 people would listen to it, and 3 of them would be us.
That would be an improvement of what we have now.
That would be 6 more people would listen. to this
now
podcast.
you guys are going to get huge ratings now that this D listeners on the show.
Are we going to get the Jericho bump?
Yeah, at least 100 people, I think, probably.
That's
Not
exciting.
good.
100 Kiss fans.
We'll take what we can get.
That's
Believe
not bad.
me.
Sure, we're going to spread. This has to be a good show, guys.
Well, it all hinges on this
On
piece
the
of
tune.
shit.
That's
you know,
right.
but maybe a miracle will happen and we'll get a dynasty cut. Who knows?
Ooh.
Anything, well, except for the 173 songs we've done already. Anything's in play.
You never know.
What was the one that you were waiting for? Was it
Charisma.
Charisma, right. But there was one that you were waiting for that you actually got already that you were super excited.
Got Love for
Love
Sale.
for Sale. That was it.
Oh,
That was that's been a point of contention between me and Nick for years.
That's pretty much the genesis
What's
of
your
Heart of Thunder.
Okay, since you're here, real quick, Got Love for Sale, Hell or Hallelujah?
Hell.
Damn.
Somebody's got sense in this room. Finally.
I don't get
Just
that.
found it was one of those kind of generic Gene songs that I wasn't really into. So,
Wow.
sorry, dude.
If we had more time, I'd convince you, just like I did Nick. But
Well, I still shot it down, but I said there were redeeming qualities.
Yeah, and
the drumming particularly.
Well,
I could
70s Kiss
point
always
those
has
out.
redeeming qualities.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
Maybe if we heard it, it'd be like you listen to some of the tunes that you don't know if you would like. And then when you hear it and analyze it, maybe I would like it too. But just thinking about it off the top of my head, I would say no, but I haven't heard it and dissected it. So
you didn't sit through all 3 Got Love for Sale episodes.
It's one of the ones where I don't really care for the song, so I didn't listen to
I don't
any of
like
them.
the song, nor am I going to listen to 3 episodes.
Yes,
about
especially, you know what? I don't like episodes that you're not on, Chris. I got to be honest with you.
There you go.
Well,
yeah, there was one that was right.
It's just he's kind of like he's the Simon Cowell of the show.
Well, and I don't like episodes that one of us isn't on because the one
chemistry's different.
the one thing that we will always have that no other podcast has is this ridiculous interpersonal chemistry
Sure.
between us.
Friends for life.
Yeah, and different age groups, and it's just
a good cross section.
Yeah. So I mean, me personally, I would prefer when one of us can't do an episode, I'd prefer we take a week off.
Okay.
But sometimes we just decide to wing it, whatever. Because
Can't
again,
disappoint.
Hey
the
man,
listeners.
people are creatures of habit. I was there last Monday or 2 Mondays ago when you guys were off, and I was almost going to text Adam and say, "Are you guys all right?" I thought maybe something happened. I was scared.
well, Nick,
Apologize.
Andy, but that's okay. That hurt. That cut me deep.
Who do we know?
But that's okay.
Is Adam handling us?
Yeah. No.
I wasn't talking about you. I was talking about Adam Schwartz, the manager of the show.
Oh, okay.
It's funny because
Adam,
you wouldn't
Adam,
believe.
Mick, and Nathaniel here. Glad to see all you guys.
You wouldn't believe how many times that's happened to me in my
Really?
life. It happened to me at work where we were working on name drop. We were working on something for the Late Show last week. I kept getting emails that started with Adam, and I'm like, dude, my name, it says Andy. You're
On the
replying to
email.
it. Thanks, Adam. I'm like, what's...
See, I was actually reading your email. Actually, I work for the
Okay.
Tonight Show. That's
Yeah,
why I
okay,
work for the
okay.
Late Show.
Got it.
All right. All right. Well,
All right,
Let's
let's,
man.
I'm doing it. Here I go.
All right.
Pray for me.
This one comes off.
Crazy Nights.
Yes.
It's called
Turn on the Night. Very exciting.
I love this
All right,
song.
You
I just
primed the pump, my friend.
I just watched the video for it last night.
Oh.
I can't believe it. It's one of the ones I watched.
see,
There's
now-
a video.
See, now this is news to me. Not only have I never heard this song, this is one that I'll be hearing for the first time with you
time.
here.
Okay.
And naturally, I would not know if there was a video for it either. Turns out there is.
There
yeah.
is.
Oh,
It was
well,
the
this is
third
great.
single. It's a pop song. I'll be honest with you.
Well, aren't all '80s Kiss
in
songs
a way.
pop?
This
songs?
is on the top of the pop list
Yeah.
from the 80s, yeah.
Oh boy!
So-
So far, I'm not excited,
Yeah,
but
it's-
I'm excited because Chris Jericho is here, and these new discoveries are you never know what can happen.
Yeah, that's right. It's a polarizing song, I think. I remember when I first heard it, I was like, well, I don't know if I like it, but I love Crazy Nights, the album, and I don't really know like why, because it's not really critically acclaimed in the Kiss pantheon.
Yeah.
But I think for me, it's an album that came out right before. It came out. I think the anniversary of it was 2 or 3 days ago.
Mm.
I was just starting grade 12, my senior year in high school.
Okay.
So this album was playing in this really cool time of my life. So I always loved this album. Same reason
There you
why
go.
I think Seventh Son of a Seventh Son is like my second favorite Iron Maiden record for the same reason. So
And your first favorite is
Power Slave.
Oh yeah, okay,
Power Slave,
for sure.
Which is the first I bought. So yeah, all right. Turn on the Night. What, you got the book there?
We
man?
do have the book. I was just thumbed through it while you
Can I
guys
see
were
the
chatting.
cover? I've never seen it before.
You've
That's
never
it.
seen
Man,
this
I gotta
book?
get
huh?
that.
It's
It's
a
the-
great book.
Behind the Mask. Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
It's
Yeah.
kind of like, I don't know if it's technically outdated at this point, since how old is it?
Oh, God. I don't know. I think it goes up to Psycho Circus. But, I mean, that's
Oh, thanks, man.
pretty much everything.
Well, how can it be outdated? This is
Well, I guess
you mean
so.
in terms of
He means
having
it-
like Monster. and
Well,
shit
Yeah.
in here?
and yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, whatever.
It's
The
just
commentary is timeless,
it's
and it
a-
was
yeah.
captured around the time that the stuff came out, I presume. So
Well, Turn on the Night. Diane Warren. Do we know who Diane Warren is? I don't know.
She's a
didn't she
songwriter,
write that
right?
shit for Aerosmith?
It's
Their
shit
poppy
for
stuff?
Aerosmith.
Isn't she written some Aerosmith tunes?
What, like the
Fun.
90s ones?
Yeah, like
the Alicia Silverstone video songs?
Yeah, or that ghastly thing from the from Pearl Harbor, whatever that.
Don't want to
Didn't
miss
she
a
write
thing.
"Honkin' on Bobo," the title track?
yeah.
Terrible album title. It's awful.
The jokes.
Aerosmith
Anyway.
is like the Dexter of hard rock. They've got some of the greatest moments and some of the worst moments
Yeah.
in their career.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Some people would say that about Kiss as
Sure,
well.
yeah, for sure,
you know?
of course, whatever.
But
They can fuck off.
okay, yeah.
So Paul Stanley said, I'd known Diane before she ever became Diane Warren, in capital letters. Laughs.
Yeah, he knew her in
So-
a biblical sense, I'm sure.
When I was writing songs for Crazy Nights, I very much wanted to write a song with her. Diane came up with the title, and then we wrote it. She was a very big part of writing that song. So there you go. A Paul Stanley, Diane Warren
That's all you
collaboration.
got. Okay.
Well, it's definitely going to be a pop song. There's
Yeah,
no
it's total
question about
pop, yeah.
that. So this
Yeah.
was a single, huh?
It was the
Man,
third single from Crazy Nights.
What is-
I actually think I talked to talk about name dropping. You guys know that I am friends with some of the guys in the KISS camp.
Yep.
And I talked
other D-listers.
to other D-listers like Paul.
Yeah.
And I said this song, like if Crazy Nights would have gotten a proper push, this could have been like a Living on a Prayer type song that plays today on like classic rock radio. It's that total 80s, metal pop type of stuff but KISS never really got the break, and he said that they didn't give it really much of a chance or
That's
much
too
of a
bad.
shove. Yeah. They never really got much airplay in the 80s.
See, at that point, I mean, I was watching MTV a lot. I was 7, 8 at that point, and I remember the title track, or if you want to call it that, there's two crazies, whatever.
Crazy.
But I remember loving that video, mostly because Gene shoots like a Roman candle out of the top of his
From
face.
Turn on the Night?
No, from the actual Crazy Nights
Crazy
video.
Nights
And I remember
video, yeah.
loving that, and didn't even realize that there was a video for this until like a few years ago, I think.
For this song.
Yeah, for this song, because it must not have been pushed at all.
It was hardly pushed.
Yeah.
I think it made like the number 89 on the charts or something like that, one of those things.
Yeah.
But it's the video is almost exactly the same as Crazy Nights. It's like a live
same
thing.
stage, probably.
But actually,
Is there some tits and ass? In
there
this
is some
video?
tits and ass. There's a chick who has a giant fuse box, and KISS is playing on the roof of a building.
Really?
And she turns the fuse box on or turns it off. I can't remember. And it's got this.
I think
really
she turns it off.
Off.
But then does that turn on the night when the box
Maybe.
goes off?
It's some
weird
cheesy kind of
meaning.
electrical
Yeah.
thing, like.
Yeah.
You can-
I see what they did there.
That was
Okay.
another thing that they used to do a lot in the 80s when they would have a music video and they would add sound effects of what was going
yes.
on over
Yes.
top of the song.
Yeah.
So you got the
Yeah.
Well, we had was it All Hell's Breaking Loose, where they punched
Yes.
the guy in the beginning,
And that
boom.
bottle breaks.
The
It's
bottle
the worst
breaks.
bottle
Yeah.
sound ever. It's like he throws like a whiskey bottle at the ground. It sounds like the world's like an airplane bottle shatters.
yes.
It's terrible.
Actually, I've actually just Wikipedia'd the song, and maybe
Look
I
at
can
you.
give
Wow,
You
look-
looked it up.
I can
You're,
give
you're
you
horning
guys,
in on Andy's territory.
Maybe I can give you guys a couple.
Andy, you're fired.
tidbits about this song.
Wait a
Well,
minute.
hold
So
on.
wait, you looked something up on your
You-
phone? Is
I
that what
did,
you did?
yeah.
Is that what
All right. Well,
is that what happened here?
Sorry, we have to.
All right, so of course you do. I wouldn't want to miss out on that. Turn on the Night was the third single off the album. A music video was made in Worcester, Massachusetts on January 27th, 1988.
Wow, Worcester,
Yeah,
Massachusetts.
directed by Marty Kalner, very famous director of the time. Turn on the Night only charted in the UK, where it reached number 41. Yeah, so there you go. And it was backed with Hell or High Water was the B-side of that.
That's right.
Which I own the 45 thanks to Andy.
Really?
He got it for me a throwback Christmas present a few years ago. So
Only good Christmas present I've ever given.
Nice. Yeah, so only charted. So in the UK, Crazy Nights was a big album in the UK, wasn't it?
it's interesting.
People
to me.
love that.
that's like I mean we've had a lot of Unmasked. I mean that was big in Australia. It's like
Yeah, just never know.
I guess yeah.
But I mean, Crazy Nights was number 4 in the UK charts. Reason to Live 33 and Turn on the Night 41. So that's 3 top 40 singles basically
There you go.
from Crazy Nights
I
in
don't
the
know,
UK.
that surprises me.
Yeah,
Our Chris is outraged.
yes.
I'm not outraged. I'm surprised. It's like it just KISS in Britain is kind of a weird.
It's strange. Yeah, I
mind-
agree.
Mind
If you-
warp for
you
me.
would have back then. You would have heard the British equivalent of a Casey Kasem introing this song, doing a dedication perhaps before it.
Yeah.
Yes. Chris is not really too British in his attitude or demeanor.
No,
No,
I'm
I-
not. No.
Yeah.
at
Actually,
least,
I've worked with a couple British guys, and it's not far off from.
They're just
Really?
as crotchety.
There-
and
it seems like not really
curmudgeon-y.
sarcasm, but the dry put down attitude
Okay.
seems to be
Yeah,
prevalent
yeah.
with at least the guys that I've
I
met.
can get that.
Yeah, it's just the Ponzi accent that you can't
the
get on board
Poncia
with.
accent.
Poncia accent.
I bet you Vinny
Nice.
Poncia was English. With an Italian Englishman, maybe. So, there you go.
Also, since there is a video, as people know, we instead of simply listening to the song, we will be watching the video and analyzing that as well.
But here's something I don't like when you guys do this as an outsider.
Ooh.
Oh boy!
You guys
No good.
analyze the video
Too
more
much?
than you analyze the song sometimes.
We do
All right,
we
well.
do apologize usually for that.
I'll
yeah.
be the voice of reason that keeps the eye on the song
Okay.
as we're watching the video as well.
Okay.
Contrary to popular belief, we are not perfect. So thanks for the criticism.
I think you personally are.
Thank God you showed up.
Yeah, jeez. It's only
Otherwise, we'd be talking about this stupid fucking video all
only
day.
170 70 shows gone by, and now you finally get someone to figure it out.
You know, it's a learning process.
Do you guys realize you're still going to be doing this for like another year and a half?
Like 2 years.
Is it 2 years?
It's almost 2 years.
And there's talk, and there's talk of a new album.
That must make you guys.
I'm reading.
Is Samurai Sun on the list?
It's got to be in there.
It's
It's got to be in there.
It
I think it's
counts.
official.
It's an official
Any
release.
official release. Yeah, I bought it on iTunes. It's
There you
an
go.
Official
Yeah.
release.
So there you go.
The Ascot song from
Chris
the
is not-
Scooby-Doo
oh,
movie does not count. The
The
Scooby,
Ascot?
yeah, what was
Yeah,
that called?
Don't touch my
Don't touch my
Ascot.
Ascot.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's not an official.
That doesn't
release.
count,
That's just
Okay,
that's a
good. You heard
soundtrack.
it here
Yeah,
first.
That doesn't count.
I read online somebody was saying, can you believe it that if Kiss doesn't come out with another album, Don't Touch My Ascot might be their last official recording.
that's fine.
Which I think is why they probably will. There's no way Paul's going to let that happen. Paul will rally the troops. And
But
get him
again,
there.
we talked about this before. You know, this in the modern era, you don't have to put out a full album. Put
No,
out
that's
an
true,
EP
yeah.
or
Put out
cut
songs,
a
yeah.
song as
Yeah.
a la carte tunes.
That's what Samurai
you know?
Sun is, you know?
I think
Yeah.
though, just from the mindset of those guys being from the '70s, I think they'll put out an album.
Yeah, no, you're right.
I
but
think they
it's
will.
just it's not necessary.
Yeah, I agree.
But
I
you
agree.
know, I'm hoping they don't because that's 10 fucking
That's
episodes.
another 2.5
tacked onto
months. You
this
gotta
thing.
do this shit. You guys should
Yeah.
get a medal. I wonder if Kiss knows about this podcast. Do they know?
I don't think
I
so.
don't
I'm
think
going
so
to ask
either.
Paul if he's heard of it.
Oh boy.
I'm sure
Don't
he
ask
has.
Gene if he's heard of
They'll
it.
shut it down
No.
immediately.
If you think the shit I've talked about you is bad,
I've heard when you wish upon a star.
oh.
Okay,
don't-
worst Kiss song ever, probably official release.
Well, so far we've
Boomerang.
Boomerang
Boomerang's gotta
is
be
still at
That's
the
awful.
bottom.
Boomerang's
I think-
shits.
When You Wish Upon a Star it doesn't get a pass, but it's not not penned by
You
anybody
can't
in the
call
band.
the concept and why he did it. I understand it's admirable and there's a reason, but Boomerang is just a shit song.
It's,
Oh,
it's
thanks.
terrible.
Yeah.
so forgettable
Yeah,
too.
terrible,
Yeah.
terrible. But most of Gene's songs in the '80s were so.
Right.
All right, so
All right.
should
We will not
get
be
rolling?
experiencing that this week.
No, we will not. Let's get
I'm going
started.
to put my glasses on.
I'm actually glad we're watching the video. That's fun. It's a fun video.
I thought you said you hated it when we watched the video.
Well, but I'm going to be the voice of reason and keep it.
He's
going to
right the ship, if you will.
Jesus, dude, make up your mind.
Well, fuck, man. I'm nervous.
It's-
You got three. I'm like the new guy in the band. You guys have been together for 3 years. I got to walk in as the new guy and try to impress
That's what I'm
you.
saying. You know, dealing with these two assholes.
Jeez, I
now
feel like
got this
fucking
guy.
March St. John right now. Give me a break, dude.
Let's hope your hand doesn't start blowing up like a balloon or whatever.
Well,
Would
Whatever
you rather
happened to
stay
him.
normal so I can peel off some of those awesome
There
leads
you
from
go.
Animalize?
Those horn-influenced leads, jazz horns.
The best lead on
Uh,
Animalize is freaking Heavens on Fire.
Yeah, yeah.
That's the best lead on the
Mhm.
record.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Most melodic, probably most rudimentary.
It's
but
probably
best.
played by
Yeah.
Paul as well,
That's probably true too.
which is why it's the best one.
Well, if it's a video podcast, I need to put my glasses on to see the screen
They're on?
and also verify that's actually Chris Jericho sitting there.
What?
It
not
could
that
be
far
it
away.
could be an impersonator.
It could
my
be.
eyes are not
It
that great.
could be like the guy who was imitating Peter Criss on one of the Donahue show, and then they actually brought out Peter.
Did
Criss
you
in
have
a
you ever
massive
watched
sword.
have you ever watched
Yeah,
that whole
that was-
thing?
I watched it on YouTube.
It's
like the-
it's unbelievable. The whole
I-
episode.
Oh.
It's insane.
just the fact that they bring him out there and they
Yeah.
go, what are you
And-
doing, man? Why would you do that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I and it's another statement of how old I am, that I'm older than everybody in this room, that now includes Chris Jericho, worldwide superstar.
D-level.
I watched that episode when it aired
Wow.
live because they played it up, and I was obviously way into Kiss at the time, and so I either skipped school or faked being sick so I could get
Wow,
home
just
early.
to watch it.
Awesome.
Wow, you
And
faked
watched
being
it.
sick just like the guy faked being Peter Criss. Such
Now-
irony.
I once faked being sick so I could watch the Blue Lagoon on cable.
Nice.
Yeah, cranked it off to Brooke Shields.
Although, do you know that
Felt much better after that.
they had her hair actually, I remember reading about it that she called them buppy pads.
Yeah.
The hair was attached to her boobs, so
Oh,
we never
yeah.
actually
So
saw it. We
it
didn't have a
moved.
chance.
Yeah,
You'd never
it
get to see
still worked for me.
Fuck,
I
she
was
hot,
fine with
man.
it.
So was
yeah.
the dude was hot too. Fucking
This
tan and shit,
Atkins,
man.
Chris Atkins.
Never saw him again, I don't think.
Can't guarantee that he didn't contribute to my titillation watching that.
I
You
agree.
know, I'm man enough to admit
Hey,
it.
man, some guys are
Don't
just
give a
hot.
shit.
It's the way it is.
Yeah, we talk about
It's just
dicks
the
on
fucking
show.
way it is.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Man.
I'm all good with it. So
Kids these days will never know the struggles, huh? You had to stay home from school and masturbate to a movie on basic cable.
That had no nudity in it.
Yeah, no nudity.
Just the concept of Brooke Shields with like naked stomach.
Yeah, just
that was
partial
the best part,
part of her body.
The illusion of nudity.
The naked stomach.
That was something that you always stuck to when we worked at Playboy. You would talk
proponent of
about
it.
it. You liked a little bit of the cover up.
Oh yeah, dude,
man.
that's the best part.
Exactly.
Because I was like, oh, we can go on. We had like this asset management system. We could see all the pictures they would never show because there's too much.
I love how you guys used to work at Playboy.
It was
That's
ridiculous.
Yeah, a long time, man.
That's great,
So-
man. I never would guess from Chicago. You think it'd be L.A.
No, they
Well,
were
they-
Chicago-based
yeah.
from the
Company
50s
started
till
here.
2012.
No kidding.
Yeah.
What do you guys think about Playboy now not having any nude pictures in it?
Yeah, it's just,
What's the point?
I think it's just a last-ditch effort to get a headline before they
Before they-
fold. I don't
yeah,
know.
I
They're
mean-
just that was the last thing left to do, I think.
Well, it's all about the website now, right?
Yeah.
The internet.
And they're a merchandising brand, right?
That's
Yeah.
a
I mean,
huge.
yeah.
Chicks
Yeah,
still
licensing
chicks are
and-
still wearing Playboy pants.
God
and
bless
whatever
'em.
else.
And there'll always be a Playboy centerfold of the month and all that stuff because
Yeah.
chicks always want that. But it'll move online now, viral.
Yep.
All right, so
all right, we got a video here and a song. This is going to be fun.
it's all good. We got it all set up.
Paul looks
for
really
you.
cool in this video too. He's got his hair extensions in and shit. He looks
Well,
really
we'll be the judge of that. we'll debate that.
cool. Sorry,
See how
I'm ahead of the curve here. Like I said, I
Yeah.
just literally watched it last night. And let me just say this to the fans listening at home. Honestly, did not know what song we were listening to today. At least I had no idea. I had no idea.
And so you can
I can verify this
you
is
can
real.
Yes, there's no shenanigans. We've been
Yeah.
accused of it many times.
No shenanigans, because a man of my means, a man of my star power and star quality and
It's
fame,
considerable.
the E plus fan base that I have, I would not waste my time coming in here if I didn't believe this was legit.
Well, good. Thank you.
You like that, huh?
Why not?
The laptop, it needs a little work.
Yeah.
There's a little latency
But,
there.
Oh. It's a work in progress. the
1,000
mobile kit here is
It's only
a little,
been 3 years.
Oh, yeah.
All right, well,
Let's
cue
get
it up.
started.
Let's get
Yeah,
let's
let's
get
hit
rocking
it.
here, man. I think we've been talking for an hour already.
Yeah.
Now,
Oh wait.
Oh, yeah.
that's what we
yeah,
do.
Fill me in.
Sorry,
on
that's
it.
what we do.
Wave.
Procedure, you wave
Get-
at me.
get
Okay.
wave at Andy. Yeah.
Okay.
Now,
Of course, if Andy's preoccupied with something, which doesn't take much for him, you
Very
have to
short attention
like
span.
really get his attention.
Okay, so we're gonna say
now
next?
sonically, this I always thought was a sister song to My Way
Yes.
because we're getting the same. It sounds like the exact same mix here with the little overpowering synthesizer
That's a good
keyboard
call.
thing,
Yeah.
but I don't mind it. But just wanted to point that out.
I love My Way too, by the way.
What do you think about
Really?
Bruce has
Yeah.
sweet red pants.
sweet red pants on Bruce there?
Bruce is just the fucking man.
Bruce
I'll tell you
is the
what,
man.
dude. He really is. Like, you know, anybody that even if you demean 80s Kiss, you have to always give him props. Everything he did, he tried his hardest and played his ass off, whatever he was asked to do.
And he adapted to whatever they were
That's
trying
what-
to do
right.
at the time.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
You know, if it's a song like this, or if it's a song like Forever, or if it's a song like Unholy, he always captures the vibe perfectly.
Oh, you're no question.
Would you
about
say?
it.
Would you say he's maybe from a guitar player standpoint the most universally
The best player.
universally praised of all the Kiss lead guitar players?
I mean, he doesn't have the hero status.
Probably
or
the
whatever,
le- I would s-
iconic.
No, he doesn't have that ace like original status thing. But as far as if you're going to talk to guitar players,
They always
they'd
love him.
probably
Yeah.
go with Bruce Kulick. I think
He's the best guitar player as far as technique and all that sort of
Yeah,
stuff
and-
in Kiss. I mean, Ace is Ace, obviously, but Bruce blows him away.
I'd also like to, is if we can nerd out on guitar stuff.
Of
here for a
course.
I'll be
minute.
back.
Yeah, get out of here.
he's going to go wax his
Yeah.
stash.
Yeah, right.
It's growing out for Halloween.
Looks good.
Thank you.
What are you going to be?
Bruce Kulick.
A male model with a
Yeah.
mustache.
Okay. Why wouldn't you, right?
Oh.
Bruce Kulick, what?
He's probably. I would say he's my second favorite wah user.
Mm.
You know, he's always parked right in that sweet spot. Never goes too far treble
Yeah.
or bass. Always in there. Always very vocal.
Who's your favorite?
Would be Brian Robertson, the Thin Lizzy.
Interesting. Good old Robbo, huh?
Yeah.
From,
The best.
From
Nice.
the Another
He-
Perfect Day Motorhead album, right?
Yeah. He got a little weird on that one with the ballerina slippers and the headbands and Motorhead.
Lemmy used to talk about him and say, I don't know what the fuck he would show up wearing all these five. He thought that he wore stupid shit just to mess with Lemmy.
Yeah, he had to. I don't know what happened to him.
He was gone after an album, so yeah.
But boy, his Thin Lizzy, he's my all-time favorite guitarist, rock guitar player.
Okay, good. That's a pretty obscure call there.
Yeah, like he's another one in that band who, people point to John Sykes and Gary Moore. Great guitar players, obviously, but all the iconic stuff was done with Robbo and the band. So yeah.
Here we go. Little homage there with they showed the guys in makeup in the crowd.
Yeah.
Which was cool because for a while there, they were very anti-makeup. Like, you would never see anything from about 84,
That's
85,
true.
86.
Yeah.
So that was might be the first time they made a little bit allusion to the past.
That's a good observation.
This could be the turning point that led to like the full-fledged montage in the God Gave Rock and Roll TV video,
Right?
Where they were really, really laying
All
it on.
across
Like,
the board
remember
for
this greatness?
Yeah.
Well, then there was that bit in the Rise to It.
Oh yeah.
Sure.
Take the
Which is
makeup.
You're crazy. Take the makeup off.
Take off the
You're crazy.
makeup.
How many times can we say makeup? Makeup. Which I always, that's a whole other thing, but Gene seems like such an asshole in that video. Like, he just hates Kiss. Take the makeup off. Like, we're not wearing makeup now, Gene. You can't be talking like this because you sound like we suck now.
Right.
But look at the shot here. Paul's wearing a nice, check out his cape that he's
like a
wearing.
trench coat length
Capes.
thing.
Yeah.
That was the thing. He probably had a whole closet full of those.
I
those
love
like
those things. That was
floor
a
length.
Floor
trench-
spangled out.
Yeah.
It's
trench
not a bad
coats.
look. I think in general, men's fashions, the cape should make a comeback.
Yeah, just in general.
It's not a bad look.
It
when you
really
think about
isn't
it.
if it was accepted.
I have a
kinda
Dracula.
cool.
I have a Dracula cape at home. Legitimate,
brought it
and
with
a
you.
legitimate actual cape. Yeah.
Maybe Andy can borrow it for Halloween.
He
See,
could be
there
a
you go.
male model with a cape and a mustache.
A male
But
vampire
not like
model.
cartoonish, costumish cape, like an actual
Like a
tailored,
gentleman's
nicely put together cape. Yes.
like if you were a big time
Absolutely.
Not a bad idea.
theater.
Can you
Like if you're a
imagine
star of the
Yeah,
theater
yeah.
years ago, you
you
should
walk
have the
around
cape.
in a cape, people are like, "Who the fuck is that guy?"
Yeah, it's like wearing a scarf.
Yeah,
There you go.
exactly.
Who would do that?
and along those lines, and something we talked about earlier, the ascot, very
Ooh, nice,
underrated men's accessory.
Hugh Hefner as a famous ascot guy.
Yeah.
I think he is.
Yeah.
Nick's a big fan of the Dickie.
I wear the Dickie.
I'm sure you
I
do. All right, hit it.
I didn't realize I set myself up. Really.
Keep it going.
Some shenanigans going on here.
Total rocker right
Looks
there.
like Corey
Yeah.
Feldman
Yeah, this
right there.
guy. Yeah.
Yeah,
But
Paul
also-
doing his walk.
Yeah, Paul doing his walk, and we don't want to talk too much about the video,
No,
but
no.
there was a woman in a road case who popped out. So there's
She
some
was.
B story going on here, aside from the live setting.
And musically, the synth, but it's kind of a chugging, little bit of a.
Yeah, typically I hate this type of synthesizer treatment, but I'm not minding this. And I'm not just saying that.
No,
'cause you're here.
dude, I know. Trust me. You hit me with the D-lister right when I got in here.
Yeah.
I was like, holy shit.
Yeah, what's
man.
wrong?
This guy is an asshole.
If you want me to hold his arms behind his back,
That's why we're on the same team
Yeah.
now.
I didn't want you to go all Jim Norton on me, though. So I was a little worried about that, but But no, typically, as you, I'm sure maybe agree, but this type of synthesizer, very fine tipping point.
Absolutely.
From total cheese.
And I'm not a fan of it, believe
Yeah.
me. I'm not a fan of it.
But it sounds good here.
That was what they did on this record. Once again, this is why I always stand up for the Crazy Nights record, because Kiss has always been the masters of kind of morphing, not morphing, but evolving into whatever was going on and still staying true to themselves. So people love the Dynasty record. There's a lot of disco on that. It's just there's blatant disco. People love the Revenge era. There's a lot of Pantera heavy 92 guitars on that. And this is what was going on in 87, and they took it and they blended in that style along with what they were doing as it was. So that's why I actually almost like Crazy Nights even more, because they just did what they always do and just stayed contemporary and stayed above water.
Relevant is another
Irrelevant,
word.
exactly.
That
Stayed relevant.
Absolutely. There's not, you can't point to a lot of bands who were able, especially a band that had such a shtick like Kiss, the makeup, to abandon that and also switch gears musically and stay on top is pretty damn impressive.
And if you look at this too, a lot of bands at this time frame, ZZ Top, Van Halen, Rush, they all incorporated a lot of the 80s, the synth and all that stuff. And there's diehards that just hate 80s Rush and hate 80s, Van Halen. I love it because that's why they've lasted for 30, 40 years, because they were able to, like you said, stay relevant. There's only one AC/DC that can do the same thing for 40 years.
Totally.
You can't get away with it, if you're not.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I guess, you could put like a Motorhead or Ramones.
Sure, there's
in
a
there.
few.
Yeah.
But Ramones was not.
Ramones got pretty 80s cheesy a few times.
They did for a while.
They had the bells in the background.
And they had like electronic drum kit on some of those.
Yeah.
Kind of strange sounding with punk, but
yeah, Motorhead never changed, Slayer never changed. But I mean, basically, Kiss, it's like the Stones, the same thing in the 80s. They were doing a whole bunch of synthesizer type stuff.
Well, and they talk about their disco albums and stuff.
Yeah, it's Rod Stewart. A lot of guys did that. So
earlier you mentioned Seventh Son. How did you feel about that when the keyboards came into Maiden?
I loved it because it was more of a mood type thing. It was like they called them synth guitars, right?
Mm-hmm.
But like I told you, I love that record. I love the
Moonchild.
Fuck, it's great.
Yeah,
the mood that it sets is tremendous.
So awesome.
I'm one of the reasons why I don't have a strong stance against the whole synthesizer sound in it, but this song particularly, and like My Way, and it's got such strong rock pop melodies and vocal delivery. It's so strong. Like they weren't just doing it because that was the sound of the time. They were crafting actual catchy songs.
Yes, like
also.
There's more hooks than a tackle box on these songs.
There you go.
And Paul's vocals are
Did you say taco box?
A taco box, yeah.
Okay.
I had a taco downtown the other day. There was a hook in it. It got me right. I'm going to sue the son of a bitch. Paul's vocals are so high, and I challenge you, in general, name another vocalist that sang that high for most of the 80s. I mean, Bruce Dickinson was a high singer. But I mean, for a band like this, he blew Bon Jovi away. He blew Bret Michaels away, or I mean, you get your Halford and those sort of guys. But Paul's melodies are so high.
Yeah.
And that's great singing. It's great singing.
You mentioned it earlier that My Way is a vocal.
Oh my gosh,
tour de force. Nobody
Sure.
can question that.
Yeah, and there's that's why Paul. They don't do any of these songs anymore because it's impossible to sing them
No
for
way.
Paul at this point in
It'd
time.
probably be impossible then. I mean,
Yeah.
in the studio you have all the time you want, but to pull that off live would be really difficult.
No, it's not possible, especially as you get older.
That's
and
right,
a lot of people are, they're like, they're tuning down, blah blah blah. It's like, well, do you want the fucking song or not?
Right.
You can't. These are not Supermen.
Yeah, exactly.
People bitching about Halford. Oh, they tune down and he has to bend over to hit those notes. Who fucking cares?
Because your voice is a muscle, basically.
Right.
And it's like being like a bodybuilder at 65 or 70. It just doesn't happen anymore.
Right.
So yes, and that's the same with Ozzy. Ozzy's melody lines in early Sabbath is insane.
Yeah,
to sing that
you can't
high.
do it.
So that's why I love it's another example of Paul at his vocal peak, probably hitting it, I'd say, at around 85 to about 95 was when he was at his wheelhouse perfect singing.
Yeah, it's Priest. It's like, okay, Rob Halford standing upright or delete Victim of Changes from the set.
Right.
I mean, which are you gonna pick?
Yeah, exactly.
Who fucking cares?
right.
If he's bent over. God, something wrong with people.
Complaining about everything. All right.
We're getting a
a
throwback to the Shandy video from a few weeks ago. We have the woman backstage.
You're right. Lurking in the
Just
shadows.
lurking, and we don't know what she's up to.
She's almost got like the...
I know what she's up to.
Catherine's-
She took her clothes off.
Well,
I'm good with that.
Wants to get a backstage pass from Kiss, man.
That's how you do it.
Tell you
What
what. I wish I was a chick in the 80s. I used to stand outside by the bus because I was a dude.
They want nothing
Yeah.
to do with you when you're a dude trying
I know,
to get it. Yeah.
Jeez, how dare I?
This chick in this video, it's almost like what's that movie with Sean Connery and Catherine Zeta-Jones? She's got like the black something like that.
Entrapment.
Entrapment. She's got like an
Oh.
entrapment vibe. She's like
Yeah.
spy coming out of the thing in a black one piece.
And crawling around those laser detectors with her ass rising up.
Well,
and
that's
down.
why she's famous. That one shot right
Really?
there.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that put her on the map, but yeah, that's an incredible sequence. No question about
We'll see
it.
if that's duplicated in this movie or in this video. Sorry.
There's a line of lyrics for you.
Yeah, let's get into lyrics.
Yeah.
As Chris observed earlier, sometimes, with the video going on, we get away from the actual tune, and especially the lyrics.
Yeah,
so.
and this was a pretty good set of lyrics right here. This
Everybody's
pre-chorus.
thinking you're so hot tonight, but there's a fire in your eyes.
You got it already.
I know it.
Okay.
I don't have it yet.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody loves you, girl, but I love you more than any other guy.
Oh, well, what woman would melt to hear that? I mean, come on. He's speaking of women, I'd like to point out that Jean is the second best looking woman in this video.
He's really thin here. He's fit.
He's thin. His hair's dialed in. He's
but
got
also
that.
too, not to interrupt you, I think I know where you're going. In this era, he finally got rid of the fluorescent mod clothes. He's wearing leather pants and a leather jacket. And he's got his axe base, and he's got looks like kind of a dragon base. He looks pretty fucking cool there.
Yeah, the demons kind of coming back.
He does, yeah. That's right.
Asylum, Lick It Up, Animalize, probably his bottom visually.
Animalize, I'd go the worst, right? Because his hair, he wasn't wearing a wig, and even just watching those videos last night, he's just terrible in those 3 videos.
He could just tell he's uncomfortable to be there. Like there's just something wrong.
When he did Talk as Jericho, that's what he said. He said, I was lost. I didn't know who I was supposed to be, what I was supposed to do. And he said that translated to my songs. I had no confidence, which is interesting to hear him say.
From Gene Simmons,
No, he said that on your show. Interesting.
Everyone's thinking they're so hot tonight, but there's a fire in your eyes. Everybody wants you, girl, but I want you more than any other guy.
Oh, come on.
You got what I want. I got what you need. Fire below.
Fire below.
So if you know it, show it. Don't let me go. Whoa.
Oh, it's good stuff. You got what I want. I got what you need. Well, I like that he puts himself up a little bit. I want that, but you can't survive without this.
This is textbook.
I want this.
Yeah.
You need this.
This is textbook seduction.
This is
It is.
It's fire below.
Yeah,
I love that too.
This is the difference between a Paul Stanley lyric and a Biz Markie lyric. You got what I need. No, I got what you need.
That's right,
exactly.
baby. Yeah,
it's that whole flip flop there.
Just written perfectly.
Oh, yeah.
Fire below. It's so great because it's not just like he's trying to find something that rhymes. Like there's confidence and meaning in fire below in the songwriting here.
That's not just a rhyming lyric.
Yeah,
that's an actual statement. Fire below.
That must have been like something he said.
Yeah, these are not just thrown together.
Now, fire below is interesting. Is he just talking about himself?
No, he's talking about her because
or is he talking about both of them?
Needs. There's a fire below. He can tell.
She's heating up.
Her for JJ is on fire.
Yeah.
She's got some hooks in her taco box going on there.
And it almost sounds like fire below it's like incoming, like a torpedo
like
being
is
going to be fired.
Fire in the
fire
hole.
below.
Yeah. Fire in the hole. That would have been good too.
It's all good. we know where he's going with this. Yeah. Let's take it to the next level.
Can you just back it up a little bit because there's a really cool little just 2 seconds. I don't want you guys to miss the little Bruce Kulick guitar.
Oh, of course.
Little squeal he does here, which is really cool.
Nice Zach
that's
Wild.
pre-Zach Wild, by the way, just so you know.
Yeah, just right
true.
before it.
That's actually more of a John Sykes, I think, was doing it at that time.
Good,
in 84,
good call.
85.
Yeah.
Right before
Look
we
at
get
the fat guy out there.
Some security guards sleeping on the job over here.
I mean,
here's an exercise in contrast. You got some fat motherfucker on a folding chair, and this hot woman walking.
This guy's obviously like protected by the union. He could sleep on the job, and it's all good.
Why did you wave it off, Nick?
Oh, I waved it off because. Well, visually, I like to point this out when we go in this era. This was the era where Paul had the guitar, but a lot of times it was behind his back.
Never played it.
Because he was going for that front man,
Lead
that
singer,
80s, kind of pretty front man.
Which in the X and Sex and Rock Hard, he doesn't even have
doesn't
a
even have one,
He just said, fuck it.
He's standing there, he's got like the fingerless gloves. He's kind of like clapping
with the
along.
Fringe hanging off.
Yeah, and that's another thing I like about this forgotten thing, talking demeaning Kiss in the 80s. If Paul hadn't been Paul and worked his ass off to keep the band rolling, they would have broken up. or they would have stopped for a while.
That would be like a, did you ever hear of Kiss?
Right,
And going back and hear,
because he knew that all those bands had a great front man, which Paul always has been, but with the guitar, it puts you in a different world. Like, but who's the greatest front man of all time? Well, Freddie Mercury, or it's David Lee Roth, or it's Mick Jagger. Those guys don't play guitar.
Right.
Paul Stanley is the best front man who plays guitar of all time. I would have to say, except for maybe Springsteen, if you want to talk about that. But for rock and roll, heavy metal, that sort of thing.
Yeah, no.
And he knew exactly what he had to do here. He looked great. He was like, he was sexy. He was hot. He dressed. He drew the ladies in.
Yep.
Once again, because the star child is still Paul Stanley.
Yep.
The demon, there's no demon, but Paul could do this because that's what he played in the 70s as well.
Good point. Excellent observations.
What just happened?
There's our now.
Did that fat ass even wake up after all that chaos? Or I didn't even. I wasn't paying attention to him.
There's our sound effects over top of the video, right?
Yeah.
I don't recall. It's making me think of a movie where a place is getting robbed and it's Seinfeld episode. A place is getting robbed and the guy's sitting there in the chair sleeping throughout the whole thing.
Oh, no, it's the department store.
Yeah, or whatever it was. But see, we have a really catchy big vocal chorus here, but then we had the lightning and all the
right
all
over
stuff.
top of the first chorus.
Over the top of the introduction of the first
Good
big
call.
hook chorus.
That could be a little bit of a faux pas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just about to ask if Paul was rocking any body glove gear, and here we are.
It actually
no further.
says body
The
glove on this
massive
ripped
body
t-shirt.
glove
Yeah.
logo on his ripped T-shirt. Yeah, he's simply breathtaking
Yeah,
in this era.
super
He
hot,
really
man.
had it all figured out.
Yeah.
What is she carrying?
I think it's an
then?
axe.
Is it an axe?
It looks like an axe. Is she going to come try and murder the band?
That's kind of a
almost looks
it's like a dark turn.
Almost like a dustpan for like a chimney sweep.
Maybe she murdered the fat guy in the chair.
Or one of those things you use to pick up dog shit in your backyard,
That's if she did murder that guy, no one's gonna notice for a while. It's like, oh, there he is, like sitting there doing nothing.
Especially him.
Again.
He's probably still sleeping. Oh, my
Yeah.
dad, what the hell's going on?
Yeah, I mean, look at him. He probably had a heart attack. Who can tell if he's been murdered? Come on.
Oh, okay. Now musically, we need to comment musically. Another high flying, great, vocal thing, but he walks away from the microphone, which is another bit of '80s video magic.
But the thing
it
is,
doesn't
too, that's
matter.
cool is he's following the camera. So
Yeah.
he's kind of strutting along with the camera. It's one of my favorite shots in the vid. It's how he's kinda
That is
walking along.
my favorite. That
Yeah.
walk with the
Yeah,
camera.
the guy on the you got the track.
The track
Andy,
cam.
you're in the business. What do you call that?
A dolly truck.
Dolly,
dolly
that's it,
track,
dolly,
yeah.
Yeah. He just did the jumping splits, which was a huge thing in the 80s.
Mhm.
You don't
Especially for Kiss.
Yeah. You don't see any, I shouldn't say any, but any modern bands don't do any like physical feats during their videos.
If you watch Kiss around this time frame, on Animalized or the Crazy Nights tour from Tokyo bootleg, they are doing split jump kicks. Like Gene does like this jumping David Lee Roth kick where his leg is right high up by his ear, and it's just they were really gymnastic back at that time
Right.
frame,
Yeah.
And, I don't got to tell you this, but you got to be in shape
Absolutely.
to do that shit.
Especially wearing a 20-pound guitar. It's not easy. Listen to how Paul sings this next word, ignite. It's so cool.
Let's listen to that, and then I want to talk
All right.
about a previous lyric.
Just love that. Ignite. A little vibrato there.
Yeah, holding on to the note a little bit.
But,
And it's kind of like tender sounding.
Yeah.
Because he's saying, let's sparks ignite, which is kind of an explosive thing to say, but
But before then, he was speaking of put your finger on the switch, and can't help think of switch being a euphemism for the prostate gland.
is that where this is going?
Of course.
He's spoken of the stink finger in previous tunage.
That's how some people turn on the night.
If you want to get backstage at a Kiss show,
Take me in your arms, I'll take you into my heart. Let's bring this love to life. Come on, baby, put your finger on the switch. Let's make some sparks. Ignite.
oh man, Again,
That'll shoot off a Roman candle. You put your finger on that switch.
Fire below for sure.
But yeah, he's definitely he definitely knows how to speak to a woman, doesn't he?
Yeah.
I mean, this is
especially with the look on his face too. You know? This is a really good video, I think, as far as being a good indication of where the band was for the song. It's a fun video. I don't know why it didn't get played.
Show me what you want, show me what you need, fire below.
what was it?
We had a Tears Are Falling and an Ace Frehley reference in the same
At the
shot.
same time.
And there's also like an Elton John looking guy with a silver wig or something. What the hell was that guy doing?
He had the spaceman makeup.
Is that what it was?
During this era of Kiss, when Frehley's Comet was arguably bigger, I think they said for a short period there.
Really?
That's what I've heard, that they were actually their tour. They had some sort of tours.
Maybe this album sold more.
Where they were a little bit bigger at that time. Like there's a story. John Regan, the bass player from Frehley's Comet.
of course he's gonna say that.
Well,
Yeah.
I don't know that anybody's contradicted it.
I would love to have Paul Stanley here right now and have his
ask
record
him.
you saying.
Well,
He would say, "Are you fucking crazy?"
Yeah, there's
When
I'm
was
just
Ace Frehley ever bigger than Kiss?
all I can say is, the stuff from what I've read, but there was an incident where there was a shared rehearsal studio, was kind of a complex, and Frehley's Comet had the slightly bigger one, and it was an issue.
I'm sure.
I
can see that for sure.
So I don't know. I mean, but it's interesting because Frehley's Comet was riding pretty high at this point.
I think Frehley's Comet is almost gold, and this is platinum. So that right there shows you.
On the flip side of it, this might have been an early indication from Gene and Paul putting that in there and advertising to the world. We own this makeup, motherfuckers.
Oh, that's right. Good call. We can play this whenever we want. We can have this whenever we want to.
We can put other guys in this makeup if we want. We can do whatever we want.
That would never happen. Let's be realistic.
Yeah, that's talk about conspiracy.
Who's going to be next, Turtle Boy?
Those boots are great.
Like Paul's moon boots.
Yeah.
I was going to say they're almost Ace Frehley-esque.
I have
a lot of nods to Ace in this thing.
I have pajama pants that look similar to that.
I love the fact that guys just wear spandex, like just a pair of spandex pants.
Yeah.
That's it. Like no one would ever wear that now.
No.
Balls hanging out and shit.
And I'm not so sure that's a good thing that men don't wear that.
I like Iron Maiden.
Especially
Remember
rockers,
Steve Harris
you
to wear
know?
like them striped
yeah.
spandex.
Yeah.
Like, everyone was just wearing spandex. Throw on a pair of spandex and go on stage, man. That was it.
Yeah.
Whether you had a hot ass or not.
Yeah, I mean the modern equivalent of is the fucking skinny girls jeans that these hipsters wear.
Just
You know,
like the spandex.
it doesn't have
man.
the swagger.
Yeah.
It's missing from today's rock
just the
music.
fearlessness.
Exactly.
I'm gonna wear spandex. If it's cold out and my cock is small, I don't give a shit. Check
Doesn't
me out,
matter.
man. Especially if you have a guitar, you don't have to worry about it. That's why Paul kept the guitar.
There you go. Yeah.
Could
Just
be the
in
only
case.
reason.
He's rubbing it on there. I think.
Yeah, it could be.
Okay. Things just went absolutely crazy here.
Yeah, what is this? What just
So
happened?
they're on the rooftop,
Suddenly.
revealing that they're on the rooftop of the World Trade Center or something like this.
Yeah.
There's helicopters and there's a giant Kiss sign. Yeah, so she hit the soundboard with the axe and then revealed that we're on top of a roof.
So we have the maintenance man of the venue not paying attention.
Yeah.
And we've got the sound guys, the guys at the soundboard obviously not paying
They're not even
attention.
there.
Or she just John Wilkes Boothed them from behind.
She must have,
that's
yeah. And then
possible.
also pressed the button that took the roof off the place.
Yeah.
too. We're gonna tear the roof off this joint.
Yeah.
Literally.
And there's helicopters. Now when was the Moscow Peace Festival? What year was that?
89.
89.
So
Okay,
this.
never mind. Then I was going to draw a parallel to how everybody landed with in the helicopters.
Maybe
back
they
in
got
the
the idea from this video.
Oh, who knows?
Maybe Doc McGee pre-managing Kiss.
Because in the
saw this.
footage from that, I'd seen some recently. They really played that up. That it was so massive, the guys had to come in on the helicopters. The helicopters,
Except Gorky Park.
because they were there already.
They had to go on
Yeah.
mopeds.
They take the bus. We got the bus tickets for the show.
Yeah, exactly.
How many? 2 bus tickets. 5 guys in band.
I'm no expert on, I don't know, what would you call it, dimensions. But if you look at this, The guys in the band are like 30 feet tall. Because this is the top of a skyscraper.
That's true.
Well, the thing
They're
is,
like
too,
4 stories tall.
And there was also like 12,000 people in the arena, and now there's like 40 people in the crowd. What happened to the rest of the
this is-
people?
They all
This sh-
fell over the edge.
This shot is this shot is not to scale, as
This
they
chick
say.
is like a massive serial killer.
Yeah.
She's like Idi Amin up here.
Exactly. It's
She's like
And there's this-
genocide.
and there's the weird curved kind of background that we don't see in any
It's a
other
really
shots.
weird
The wall is just really short in this
bad
shot.
color.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's
backdrop
going
there.
on.
Matte painting.
of course during the helicopter sound
Helicopter sound.
effects.
During the chorus again.
Jeez,
The main hook of the song.
give the guys a break here. Can't
It's a
even
good
get
thing they put that in because otherwise I would have never known there were helicopters.
Helicopters,
in
right?
that
Yeah,
scene,
thank-
you know?
now-
Thanks for that. Appreciate it.
It looks like Eric Carr is really giving her on this video. Every scene you see him, he's just rocking real hard. You
He
know?
kind of did that in every video.
Yeah,
he
he
never
knew.
really phoned it in any
No,
videos that I can tell.
You're right, and it's funny watching some of those '70s Dynasty videos. Peter's just so out of
Wow.
it, like he's stoned out of his gourd,
Yeah.
and sure knows something. As a matter of fact, Andy Biersack, who's a huge Kiss fan from Black Veil Brides, used to be scared of Peter Criss in the Sure Know Something video because he looked so wasted and lifeless.
And when there's that shot in the middle where they do that little harmony thing,
Yes.
and when the faces kind of come at you in the dark.
And Peter, just like attacking you with like this dead, lifeless zombie eyes. But Eric never did that, man. He always gave it his all, you know.
He's in Rusty Blade mode at this point.
He really is. John Lynx.
Now, speaking of him, though, we usually this is one I know Chris likes to comment on, particularly from this era. What do you think of the drums? The sound of the drums usually gets some attention.
You know, I haven't really keyed in on it. It's nothing that's jumping out at me as lousy. I mean,
Yeah,
they're pretty
it's not the
bombastic.
drum sound I prefer. You know, I like
it's not your animalized drum sound or those type of ones.
No,
I know you like the Creatures sound.
The Creature sound is.
Well, that's what I'm saying. But this is not as bad as the animalized.
Oh, certainly not.
So it's
no.
somewhere. In
It's
the
not
middle.
jumping out at me as terrible, but no. I mean, I've got musically, I've got no objections here. Strong chorus. You can tell that certainly Paul is engaged, not phoning in the vocal by any stretch of the imagination.
Great point. And that's the thing too. We laugh about Diane Warren, but as far as a hook writer, I mean, dude, she's doing a great job in this one.
Absolutely.
She's who she is for a reason.
Every vocal moment is, as the kids say, an earworm at this point.
Yeah, you're right. Good
Everything.
Yeah, I like it. And again, this is literally my first time hearing this song. Certainly seeing the video, but the style of the video is familiar.
Mhm.
You know, it's that Bon Jovi.
Yeah.
Who is that? Wayne
Isham.
Yeah.
And Marty Callner was
Right.
the other guy, and that's who did this. Was
that
Marty
style.
Callner. Yeah.
So sans the destruction of the soundboard and the chaos that brought about. But no, the song is fine. You know, I've got no issue with. You know, there are guys who, if it's just because it's a pop song, they'll hate it. Guess what?
See,
most of the songs you like are pop
Bingo.
songs.
Every song that you like should be boiled down to a pop song. And I'm talking
Yeah.
Slayer or anything. You could listen to Angel of Death and you could have a pop band play it and the hooks are still going to be
Exactly right.
there.
Yep.
Have we determined what the woman in this video is trying to accomplish?
She must be.
Is that it?
I don't
Yeah.
know. Does she need attention?
This seems like what was the video where the chick? Oh, it was
With the car, there's a car on fire.
Reason to Live.
Yeah.
Reason to
Yeah.
Live.
the other single from this.
Is this the same chick?
Maybe it
she's
is.
not done with him.
Yeah,
yet?
now she's going to destroy the. She's going to pull a Black Friday and destroy the whole damn Super Bowl arena.
Yeah, it's like, well, Jesus, lady, relax.
And this is quite a dangerous setting to be goofing around like
Especially
this.
on the
They're
top of a building
On
like
top of
that.
a building,
Like a skyscraper.
a tiny building.
Yeah.
a woman who looks like that could get a replacement dick in about 20
Oh, geez,
seconds.
at any rock show.
Why are you fixated
She
on?
could go fuck Richie Sambora in the Bon Jovi video tomorrow.
Exactly right.
Yeah, but
you
hell
know?
hath no fury. and
Move
she's-
on with your life.
That's
God
true.
damn it.
Yeah.
Hell hath no fury, and she's just carrying that out.
Well, yeah,
Okay.
Just needs to get over it.
Yeah.
Big solo.
That crosswalk that he does. Paul when he's doing the camera following move and his legs are like
Yeah.
crossing over each other.
Karaoke.
Is that what that was?
I think that's the run, the karaoke.
You know what I like about the vocal too is he just goes like, yeah, just
Yeah,
a
I-
little nowhere thing just kills it.
Oh yeah, it's perfect. And since you mentioned it in that last segment, I keyed in on the drum sound. It's that big '80s gated reverb snare sound.
call.
It sounds okay to me.
The playing
I mean,
is good. Eric's playing good on it too.
Yeah, he's not using every turret on his fucking tank drum
He's not
set or
overplaying,
every
right?
Simmons pad that's behind him.
Good
you
call.
know,
Good
he's
call.
just playing it straight, and yeah, it's all good. I got no issues with it.
Okay, what did Paul say there?
Hey babe, I think.
We'll go back and listen. But first of all, tasty solo.
Oh, yeah,
That's one of my probably favorite, like, hair. I guess you want to call it Kiss hair '80s era. From Animalize to this point. It's one of the solos that you can sort of hum if you know it well enough. It's not a face melter.
Yeah,
but it sounds
tasty.
great.
It's a tasty
Very
solo.
tasty, yeah.
It's really well played. It's like you said, it's not a shred solo, which is usually a waste of time with Kiss when they try and do that.
But there's some technical playing in there. It's just it's perfectly executed, composed. It's what we've come to expect from Bruce Kulick.
Exactly. But that was pretty funny though. I don't think I've ever really keyed in on that before. Like, what does he go? Hey, baby. What does he say? Hey, guys.
Let's hear it again.
Now, is that in the actual album version? Okay, because
I've never noticed it though. Even watching the video, I've never noticed that.
Even your late night viewing session last night.
Okay, so you got to look at it this way. If I start on Sure Know Something, I'm drinking.
Yeah.
By the time I get to the third video from Crazy Nights, I'm already
the
looped.
nobody's attention
I
span
don't even
is
know
going to be.
what the video for Hide Your Heart is. I can't remember a thing about it. And I've seen it probably 30 times.
All
Never
right.
even mind freaking I Just Wanna.
Good point.
By the time I get to that. Yeah. Hey, babe!
Wonderful.
I like that it's still in the solo.
Now look how they're portraying that as like he's calling out to her because apparently she was leaving and now she's looking
she's coming
back.
back,
It's like, why do you want her to come back? She's fucking busting up everything in the
He's still
in the arena.
He still
murdering
he
your
still
audience.
wants her.
Sent thousands plummeting to their deaths.
He still wants her.
Yeah, well, it's always the crazy one.
It's just such an overly passionate relationship, apparently.
Look at
Now she's
her.
getting
Okay.
down. No
now
bra.
he's taking over. Oh, definitely no bra.
No bra.
Not
Hot little
allowed back
blonde
then.
number. Look at the dude over his shoulder with the stash.
Yeah,
He's like,
nice
yeah,
nice
boy.
photo bomb. Look at that guy.
How about Joyce
Yeah.
DeWitt over there? Joyce DeWitt or the drummer from Cinderella. Fred
Can you
Corey.
take a screenshot of that guy back there?
He's got his groin pressed up against her ass too.
I think that they're behind the barricade.
We need
Yeah.
a screenshot of this guy.
They're not
Yeah.
getting. They're not getting past there. They don't
No,
have
but
backstage pass.
he's already soiled himself.
And then the people on the right side, they're not even lit. I feel bad for them. They didn't even get in the shot.
No.
There you go. She
No,
looks
yeah.
good though, man. She looks
She does.
good.
She
Yeah.
She
does look
looks
good.
good. She was hotter than hell.
Just when you thought Paul couldn't make it work that high or higher, any
Yeah.
higher than he was singing already, he goes up during this pre-chorus here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I mean, what can you say?
Yeah. Just go back again. I just want to hear that because I want to make sure.
I mean, it's a variation where he goes even higher
yeah,
than
good
where
call,
he was
man.
going
Good
already.
call.
Yeah,
During
that's incredible.
At the end of, I think it was "Show It" when
Yeah.
he sings that.
The voice
he
cracked
He does
just
the
a
little
little.
Paul Stanley almost yodel.
Yeah.
which he's so great at doing.
Yeah,
He's totally
I
in
heard that
control.
too.
Yeah,
You know,
totally in control.
you know what's funny? There's something I noticed there. It's like how it's a performance video, but they're taking liberties. Like, okay, I'm not going to play the guitar now.
Mhm.
I'm not going to sing
Singing
into the mic.
Yeah.
Yet the mic is covered with guitar picks.
Yeah.
It's like
That's part of their production at this point in time.
right,
A
but
giant Kiss symbol and guitar picks is about all they have.
yeah, I guess that just kind of struck me as funny. Is like you're miming, but you have 50 million guitar picks.
Well,
taped
you know how
up
they
to
say
your mic
you know how
stand.
they say a penny dropped off a building like that can really hurt somebody. Could a
Oh,
guitar
no.
pick hurt somebody if it falls off of this thing?
Well, or the 10,000 people that fell off.
Well, I guess there are bigger problems to
It's
worry
raining
about.
men really takes a whole new meaning here. There's the walk.
There it is.
Boots.
A windmill thing with his arm too.
Yeah.
Now I know we're talking more about the video, which we need to not do so much. But there was a moment there where Bruce looked like he was laughing before he went to the mic to to do the backup vocal.
He's having such a great time.
And one just wonders what's on the cutting room floor. What kind of footage? What were they goofing around doing?
Yeah,
it had to
good
be a
call.
blast.
Yeah, to be in Kiss in the '80s with the whole vibe of the way rock and roll was, there must have been so many chicks and so much.
Yeah.
They didn't really drink or whatever, but
Well, the Kiss Exposed video.
yeah, I mean, come on, to
Just,
be
gives you a
Bruce
glimpse
Kulick in
into that.
1987 in Kiss is probably a pretty fucking smiley gig to have. You know?
Well, shit. And he just speaks so reverently of it, and he's such a humble guy. That,
Yeah. But I'll tell you something else too. You mentioned that you weren't paying attention to the song. I mean, we pretty much all have our thoughts locked in about the song, and this is just the outro. And then, so you don't have to worry about missing the song in this
Okay.
because thankfully there is a video to give us something else to talk about because the chorus is strong. We all like it. So there
Yeah.
you go. Nice. There's a
Was she
jib
playing
shot there.
air guitar right there?
That was one of the most awkward air guitars I've seen.
There's also a random jib shot for the first time with the camera way up high.
Yeah, they spent all that money.
He said,
and-
you better use it.
Yeah.
It's kind of like when you're with a hot chick and suddenly she does something stupid. You're like, don't do that.
Yeah.
Don't.
Gene woke up here for a second too and did a couple little two-step things.
Yeah.
So, it's got some stuff.
But getting back to the chick, like they'll read fucking Cosmo and it's like tricks to turn your man on.
Oh no.
Lock in with the eye contact. It's like, nah, don't
Just
do
creepy,
that. Don't ever do that again. If you do that again, you're out.
No, just put your body by his.
Yeah,
Just
yeah,
put
yeah.
your body on his, and that's all Cosmo should say.
Grind on the pizza guy behind you, but don't ever play air guitar in front of me again. The stomach punch sound effect. Ooh.
But she was totally playing air guitar, but like a really bad, like, hi, look at me, I'm
Yeah,
playing guitar.
don't-
She looks like Martin Short.
Yeah,
It's like if she was
don't ever do that.
If she was
again.
strong enough to hold a cello and play it, that's closer to the motion she was
Yeah,
making.
there's Paul's vocal dynamics at the end, like you said, ooh.
Yeah.
It's always good when they add little
Yeah,
spice like
of
that to the
course.
song.
Yeah.
You
Of
know,
course.
it's just not the lyrics from the verse and the chorus, but just some little exclamations
It's
here
the
and there.
outro, man.
I will go since we're almost to the end. I don't see anything changing it. I would say every vocal element is perfect.
I
in
agree.
the song.
Like I said earlier before we started talking about this, is this song, the melody is so strong and the hook is so strong.
It is. It really
And
is.
I'll say, I cannot believe it wasn't a bigger hit for this time.
Sorry.
That's all right. I was finished.
Producer of the year, Andy Jones.
That's right.
No,
Eric Carr had a Led
Zeppelin
Zeppelin
shirt.
I- you know-
Sure he did.
Yeah.
I was trying to tell during the video. It almost certain shots it looked like almost a Toys in the Attic album cover shirt, but
Zeppelin.
it's Zeppelin.
I
Yeah,
think
cool.
Presence maybe or something. Yeah. How's that, Holy?
Oh
Paul's
yeah.
butt pat. There you go.
Now I know you never missed that part of the
Yeah,
video.
I love it. I love
That's
that one.
great.
No, I
Slapping his own
I
ass.
think Bruce is wearing a T-shirt that says BK on it as well. If you can see
awesome.
that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
British Knights were big back then, right?
Those are-
British Knights, good call. Yes, I think that's it. The shoe company.
Or is it Bruce Kulick?
It could
It
be.
could
It's a
be.
dual
It might-
purpose.
yeah.
There you go.
And what's Gene with the eagle?
It's the Freedom of Rock tour 30 years
It's like
earlier.
a Napoleon Dynamite shirt with the horses. The
A unicorn.
Or like one
Hey,
of
listen.
like a wolf in front of a full moon.
Yeah, like
one of
the
those
oil
airbrush
painting airbrush things.
I'm just
yeah.
happy he's got a leather jacket on. At least
These
he's
guys
cool.
are all again, vocals perfect, fashions
Yes.
pretty perfect here.
could be the best fashion that they've had in the 80s.
I would
Yeah, so
I
far.
would not argue with that.
They were starting to change around finally.
There you have it, ladies and
There you
gentlemen.
go.
Okay.
There you go.
Wow.
The murderous chick ended up air guitaring in the front row. That was pretty much.
That's why he wanted her. She was a challenge. He wanted to win her over.
Like I thought there'd be like a final scene of her or something, but it was like nope, they just fade out and just
No.
forget. And then the rooftop thing, like I guess they all take the elevator back down and go get their cars and go fucking home.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
what
don't
the hell,
know.
man, you
There's
know?
a lot of loose ends in the
There is.
plot here,
Yeah.
but
The-
whatever.
If we're
you know.
but we're not judging the video, we're judging
Yeah.
the song.
Yeah.
You know, I don't need everything to be resolved in my plots.
Yeah.
So I'm good with it.
Yeah, I'm cool with it. They might have wanted to continue on the fourth single, but since Crazy Nights wasn't as big of a hit, they didn't have a fourth single. So
What would have been the fourth single, in your opinion?
I couldn't have been a Gene. It would have to been another Paul. So I mean, you could have done My Way. You could have done Fight Hell to Hold You, maybe.
If I'd held a hold, you probably would have worked.
But you know what it would have been though? I bet you they would have went with Cheesy Bang Bang You, because that's just
Oh
the time frame.
well, I
You know
have
what I mean?
Cheesy.
I hold that one in high esteem.
You like it?
I
Okay.
love that one.
Okay, well then there you go. So
the,
that probably would have
the
been
opening line. My love is like a cannonball. Right there, it's like you have me. You know.
Well, see, for me, I love when your walls come down with "Liar, Liar" with your pants on fire. I know you want it. You know you want it too. So yeah,
Yeah.
they could have picked any Paul song off that record and it would have worked for me. So
Yep.
Not.
can you imagine a Kiss album with 4 singles and they're all Pauls? Gene would have been just furious.
What about No No No? That would have been the closest Gene pick, right?
Yeah, it's still not as good as the other Paul.
No,
songs,
but that would have been probably the one they would have went
Remember
with.
they
The
tried to play-
obligatory Gene single.
Yeah,
So
which
he
they-
didn't quit.
they didn't have one between "Lick It Up" and actually between "Creatures of the Night" and "Revenge." There wasn't a Gene single or video.
That's
Interesting.
crazy.
Not one.
Yeah.
The fact that Gene would stand for that.
Well, but that illustrates how checked out he
Yeah, good
was.
call.
You know,
Yeah,
focusing
good
on
call.
his
But the-
movie career and
Yeah.
Those two bookend albums, Creatures and Revenge, are such strong Gene albums.
Yeah.
I mean, he was an absolute monster on both of them.
And I guess that's when he came back. you
Yeah.
know? Yeah. I'm sure Paul was so happy when he came back, but probably also a little bit like, shit.
Yeah.
Parents are home.
right.
So what happens now?
Now
we
it's time
did
for us to
voting.
vote.
Okay.
First round of voting if it should go to a second round,
Okay.
but this would be the Hell or Hallelujah
Oh, wow. That's exciting
stage.
for
So
me.
why don't you go first? Since you're
Well, I
first.
think, it's definitely a hallelujah.
Do you want to tell us why?
Well, I mean, like I said, to me, when I first heard this song, I remember when I bought Crazy Nights in the store, it was like, it's a little bit too poppy for me. But the more I listened to it, it started to really stand out as just a great hooky track. And then I've loved it, for, like I said, for 29 years now. And it's a standout for me. And even talking to Paul about it specifically, why wasn't Turn on the Night a bigger hit? And he said that Kiss just didn't get radio support in the 80s because we were Kiss. And they always kind of demeaned us and looked down at us because we were the makeup band.
Right.
And he said it's the same reason why Reason to Live didn't go higher. Because if Reason to Live was done by heart, it would have been a number 1 song.
oh yeah,
Yeah,
totally.
absolutely.
And I think it's the same with Turn on the Night as well. Just kind of underrated because it was a Kiss song. But in the Kiss pantheon, it's one of my favorites from that time frame.
Now, as far as just because you brought up something, you were saying if Heart had done Reason to Live. Now, what band would you think this one could have been a hit with?
Bon
at that
Jovi.
point? Just Bon Jovi. You think so? Yeah.
That style, I think it was.
Yeah.
If Bon Jovi would have done this, it would have been a bigger hit. It's got 80s pop metal written all over it. Like Chris was saying, it's pretty much a perfect song for what it's trying to be, in my opinion.
Who wants to vote next?
I'll go next. I will concur. This is one that I've always liked. I like My Way also, and since it bears such a strong resemblance musically, I enjoy both of them. I don't even know that I would put it like, if you want to, you can almost say it's like there's guilty pleasure elements with the over the top synthesizer and everything like that. But I don't even know if it goes into that territory. like calling it a guilty pleasure.
I agree.
I think it's just a great song, great hooky song, and the solo was great.
Yeah,
drums were great. Watching Eric Carr in the video was great because he's like sticking the tongue out. He's being the kind of the silly, entertaining guy that everybody says he was. So
once again, the only kind of guy that wasn't into it was Gene. You can see that in the video. At least he looked cool, but playing wise, I mean, Gene is an unbelievable bass player, as we all know.
Yeah, we've talked about
in the
that.
'80s, he didn't fucking even play anything Gene like. He was just like bum 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 bum.
Yeah.
bum.
Yeah, it's just like the root of the chord.
Whereas before he'd be like bum ding 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 bum bing or something like that.
right.
None of that, which really bummed me out as a bass player myself, because you watch him play live now, he could be better now than he was ever. His bass playing is so sweet.
Yeah.
He does it so effortless looking.
Yeah.
Like if you really watch like on the Kiss Rocks Vegas DVD, just listening to what he's playing and watching him doing vocals over it.
Yeah.
It's pretty incredible, really. And watching him, it doesn't look like it's really
just what he does.
It looks like he's not thinking from the neck down. Like he's focused on the vocal, obviously, you can kind of tell, but it doesn't look like he's paying any attention, but he's nailing it still.
I agree.
Well, and what you just spoke of, if you want to make a Kiss detractor's head cave in, say Gene Simmons' bass lines are very Paul McCartney-esque.
Absolutely.
They are, but so to someone who hates Kiss, comparing Kiss to the Beatles fucking gives them a coronary. So I do it as often as I possibly can.
Well, and to be as a guy who's
it's an accurate comparison.
As a guy who Beatles are my favorite band of all time, with Kiss being probably second, if not third, up there. You're damn right. It's the only band in history that is similar to the Beatles in so many ways. In the fact that you had four guys with distinct personalities. Everyone knew all four. All four of them sang.
Yep.
All four of them wrote. All four of them had distinctive sounds. So I mean, you're absolutely right about that, and it's obvious that Gene was a huge McCartney fan when he was a kid.
But it's just so fun to fuck with Kiss detractors with that alone.
Go to the Rolling Stone Museum and call out Jan Wenner and say that to him. He'll fucking try and punch you in the face.
Yeah, well,
stupid little face. Not your face, his face.
Well,
yeah.
Okay, who's next?
Yeah, who's Andy?
Sure.
Oh,
that puts us over the
getting
top here.
Dangerous.
Yeah.
Well, wait a minute. It's got to be unanimous to get
but
to the
that's
next
true.
level.
But it is so far, so that means it's going. There's one more, so we're getting there. But yeah, absolutely, Hallelujah. How do you not love this song?
Yeah.
What's wrong with you if you don't like this song?
Right.
Or as Andy likes to say,
What's not to like? One of the many catchphrases.
If you're driving down the highway in a convertible and it's sunny outside and this song came on, you'd turn it up.
yeah,
It's that type of vibe.
this
the
is one,
ideal
This is
setting.
one I turn up if it's a summer night and I got the windows down and I'm driving to do Pot of Thunder. You might hear this one going down
in
the
his
street.
basketball
In my
shorts.
basketball shorts.
Suddenly a tent forms in the basketball shorts.
Yes.
Okay, well,
So-
again, this is my very first time hearing the song, and can't deny that the presence of Mr. Jericho is skewed my vote a little bit, but I got to give it a hallelujah, of course. I think if we were doing this regular with just the three of us, I'd have the same vote though, because
think you
I don't prejudge stuff. As anybody who's listened to this podcast knows, Crazy Nights, I actually think it's the low point of Kiss. But you know, I had some preconceptions about Unmasked. I hadn't heard anything except for Shandy. I love most of that album. Same thing here. Great pop song. You know, I hear Diane Warren's name mentioned. I hear the synthesizers come in at the beginning. That's a recipe for straight to hell normally.
before you even hear it.
But, you know, the song is well written. And again, Paul Stanley, fucking awesome. And
Right.
just perfect.
Even for just Paul alone on this, you have to give it a good review. Like for just killing it on the vocals, knocks it out of the park.
And-
This, you know, I was nervous as to what you would think because when
Well, if I shouldn't make you nervous at all.
no, but I mean, just from listening to the show, I know you're very honest, and I know what you don't like. And I was thinking, oh fuck! As soon as he hears that synthesizer at the very beginning, he might go, I don't like this, but very fair,
Well,
and you got into it, and that's
Yeah,
cool.
it's
Going back-
good. It's and again, give props to Kulick. another just perfectly executed solo by him.
And going back to the She's So European episode, when those overwhelming pre-chorus keyboards came in, it didn't really. I don't remember it rubbing Chris the wrong way necessarily. So
I'd like to think I take everything objectively when it comes to this stuff, especially stuff I've never heard before.
Right.
You know, I'm not going to be. You know, I don't know how the other Kiss podcasters, you know, probably know every song inside and out. You know, I'm pretty honest about checked out a Kiss through the 80s.
Sure.
You know, loved the TNA videos, which is surprising that I never saw this because, you know, they were definitely on my radar in terms of, you know, their videos. But
you know what's funny to me is, you know, obviously now is, 45 years old, but when this came out and I was 16, almost 17, if I would have heard it for the first time, I would have given it a hell. I did not like it the first time I heard it because it was really shiny pop.
87, you were probably more into metal, right?
I was Metallica and all that sort of stuff, but I also loved Kiss.
Yeah.
You know, I was, like I said, I bought
And you
Crazy
loved the
Nights
Beatles.
first day. I loved the Beatles. So I liked the record, but that was one of the songs that I didn't like, and over time it's really grown on me to where, like I said, it is a highlight. But had I heard it for the first time then, I probably wouldn't have liked it. I would have said hell, you know. So great points, Chris.
So we
what happens now?
Now we go to the next round.
All right, Hammond. All right, Hammond. I got a question for you.
That question is Turn on the Night, a Stone Cold Kiss classic with 4 votes.
Yikes!
How do we do this when it's 4? I think we've done it before, and I don't remember.
I don't remember
because it's
either.
usually good, and real good.
Just do 3 goods. Let's not overthink this
So
thing.
4, good, real good.
Yes.
Okay.
Let's not intellectualize
Smarmy
this.
voice of reason.
Yeah,
Let's not
all right.
overthink this.
That's going to be on my tombstone. The smarmy voice of reason. It's perfect. And so we put the votes in match game style. So you stick your card in the slot, so to speak. Your little sign lights up, and it means your vote's in, and we're ready to proceed.
We usually go clockwise, but
We could.
I think we start here and
Go
move
clock-
around this.
All right, so we start with good Chris.
Yeah.
But don't
And with bad
smarmy
Chris. Yeah.
at the end.
don't start with me though, because I don't know what I want to do yet.
Really?
Okay.
Well,
You
well,
want-
well, we don't proceed until your vote's in.
Yeah,
So,
I mean,
you
we've
know,
got time.
We can't start period until all 4 votes are in.
We
so
could go the other way. We could start with me and go counterclockwise.
It's all right. Take your time. It's not like you have anything else to do tonight.
Yeah, no kidding, right?
So, you know, you just hang out. We got the room till tomorrow.
So let me ask you this. So tell me some of the Stone Cold Kiss classics that are in that are different, that aren't like Rock and Roll Night or Love
Okay.
Gun, something like that.
Move On from the solo album is one.
Yeah.
I elevated that to SKKK status simply because of I saw the effect it had on Andy.
Okay, so Move On.
Who Wants to Be Lonely
Okay.
from this era?
Okay.
Oh boy.
Okay.
I'm trying to think of more.
That's all I need.
Oh,
more
read
80s
Read
stuff.
My Body.
Read My Body made it.
And again, that's
Okay.
because
It was
the
it was
effect
Chris
it has on
Jericho's
Andy.
leaving the room right now.
Yeah, I can't give Read My Body that one, but
you
would
were in
if
the room.
You would if you were in the room with Andy while he's listening to it. Because when you see his
being in the room
his
could
hips
change.
start thrusting
my
around.
vote is in. My vote is in.
Okay. And Nick, are you in?
I'm in. Should we go start with me and go counter?
I can go now.
Okay, if you want to go first, we'll come around.
Overthinking it too much, but like I just said earlier,
Never a
it's
good
a
idea on
perfect
this show.
song for what it's supposed to be. It's a great hooky song, and I'm saying good.
All right.
Okay, so
Okay, normally we don't start the voting that way,
Oh, I'm
new
sorry.
guy. You know, we say the
New
votes
guy.
are in, and then Andy
Well, you can
repeats
always-
the question.
Well, then you
and-
can always edit it out then.
No,
Nah, we don't
okay.
do that.
We don't
either.
edit
we've
anything.
never done that.
Okay.
Yeah, we don't conform to
Well, you
any of
should
the.
have given me a rule sheet before I got here. How the
No,
fuck?
we
That's
don't
fair.
do that either.
Jeez, man.
You're pointing out things that we simply don't do on this program. I don't know why you got to do that. man.
All right. So the question again is: Turn on the Night, a Stone Cold Kiss classic.
Can I go now?
Yes, you can.
Okay, good.
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 Real good.
Yeah!
I'm putting it up there.
Let's
of
do
course.
it.
If you're putting Read My Body up there,
It is a party, ladies and gentlemen.
Probably the most ridiculous part of this podcast is that we play that.
The Garnet Silk. Good, real good.
That's just the fucking way it is.
Well, we haven't we haven't rubber stamped it yet, but we will.
Speaking of which,
well, I mean, Chris was saying something.
I was just saying, like I was starting to overthink it, but for 80s Kiss, you can't get a better song than that as far as what we were supposed to be. So.
And you said if it Read My Body's in, this is definitely
that's when I was like, I could have gone either way with it because I think it's a Stone Cold Kiss classic, but if you have Move On in there and you got Read My Body in there, it's better than both those songs.
Well, the one way we like to think of it, somebody made a playlist on Spotify of all of the Stone Cold Kiss classics. Would you want to hear this in a playlist?
Absolutely.
So there you go. Maybe that's the way.
Good
and
point.
the other, you raised the question, Read My Body and Move On. Why are they on the list? They are on the list because they make Andy very happy below the waist.
it was.
I got the sense that this song makes you happy. If it makes you happy, it makes me happy. I'm not going to shoot it. Plus, I'm going to shoot it down next to a pro wrestler who fucking throw me through that
I'll have a
door over
I'll have a
there.
temper tantrum and run through the door.
Yeah. But no,
run through the door and
it's
throw myself over the ledge.
There's a contagious effect that happens sometimes.
Well, and like you said, I mean, pretty much what's not to like.
Yep.
Yeah, and it belongs. And at the end of the day, it's our fucking podcast. We'll put it on there if we want.
There you
And
go.
if anybody disagrees,
That's just the fucking way it is.
there you go.
Dude, you gotta hear the whole thing. It's
I'm gonna
fucking
go check
awesome.
it out. I have to
man.
go watch that, and I have to go watch the Donahue Peter Criss because I saw it probably
yes.
10 years ago. But good stuff, guys. It was good.
Well, hey, thanks for coming.
This is incredible.
Are you going to get fired from your U.S. mail job? You've been here for about an hour.
I just took the bag of mail and threw it over the edge of the of the high rise, along with all the 10,000 people that fell in the Turn on the Night video.
Yeah, that's just a small thing to worry about. It's a footnote to the massacre of a whole audience, right?
Yeah.
They're not going to worry about the bag of mail.
Well, some people get mad at it. They miss their flyers, the
That's true.
weekly deals, coupon books, etc., etc. So whatever. I'd rather talk about Kiss than deliver the mail any day. It's boring.
Yeah.
So
Well, good.
I'm glad I was able to be a part of this, guys. I'm a big fan of the show. Like I said, heard almost all the episodes, and I'm real honored to be invited on the show.
Well, I mean, it's crazy for you to say that. We appreciate it, but the honor is definitely ours to have a guy like you on here, and
a D-list celebrity like
D-list celebrity.
A guy that I remember watching on TV since like the late '90s. I mean,
well, and that's and no offense, but these guys are way more into wrestling than I am, and I frankly I know you most from the metal show,
right,
appearances.
Yeah. That's always fun too,
with who would be the equivalent of Smarmy Chris of those three guys?
Probably Florentine.
Oh, good.
Yeah,
I like that.
Yeah, you and Florentine would get along good.
I'd like to be compared to Florentine. He's my favorite guy.
Yeah,
of those
he's
three.
a good dude.
But these two guys can speak of how borderline surreal it probably is to have you in here on our stupid little podcast.
But this is one of those things I always say, like music bonds people together. If you see somebody across the room with a Kiss shirt, or Lars and Brian Slagle met because Brian was wearing a Saxon shirt. It's like, oh, you like Saxon? Well, so do I. Music bonds people from all walks of life, no matter who you are, whatever. And we're all Kiss fans. We're 4 Kiss fans in a room talking about our favorite band. That's a pretty cool thing to do. So there you go.
Well, it's been a joy having you. Thank you very much for coming on.
Ow! Thank you, guys. It was a blast.
thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
Andy Jones, Nick Jones, Chris
And Chris Jericho.